everybody. Mike Missanelli Show. Friday show. We end the week, and we're going to talk about a lot of things we talked about during the week, but we have some new stuff starting tonight. The Phils are back at it tonight, the second half of the year, the all-important second half. The trading deadline looms. What are the Phillies going to do? Are they good enough right now as they stand? Well, we talked to a baseball expert named Jason Stark who said the people around the league are saying, they're pretty good. Maybe they're good enough without making a deal. Well, we'll talk about that. Luzardo versus Undecided tonight. Undecided is a hard-throwing right-hander. You got to watch for guys like that. You never know what they're going to, I'm pretty sure the Phillies have not seen Undecided. So first time they'll be facing a Mr. Undecided. The Angels, they're a team usually of Drek, but they're 47-49, and they're still in the playoff race. And I was reading a story where, they want to add, solidify their playoff run. So they're probably, they're a little more competitive than we think. I think the Phillies will take 2 or 3. Ray Dunn's with us. Ray, is Mike Trout playing tonight? Do we know? Or is he hurt like usual?
That's actually a great question. Usually Mike Trout's in town.
I had no idea whether he's playing or not from game to game.
Usually when Mike Trout's in town, it's a story. It's been so long at this point.
Yeah. Is he playing? Is he on the DL? Or?
Yeah, he should be in the lineup.
He should be in the lineup tonight.
Right,
more on Trout later in the show, which has nothing to do with baseball. So we'll give you a hint on that. But this is the final day of our Bird's Biggest Questions week, which we started all week, and we went over the offense, the defense, the intangibles, the coaching, all that kind of thing. A little bit more about the defense today, but today we're going to really focus on who are the Eagles' biggest threats in the NFC, Ray. We're going to examine this because it looks like it could be a little more wide open than we think. The Eagles have a tougher schedule. They're coming off a Super Bowl malaise, which may drop them down a couple of pegs. I still think they'll win their division, but there'll be other teams that will be vying for the higher seeds. So who are the biggest threats? Are they the Lions? Or are they the Commanders? Are they the Vikings? Are they the Cowboys? Or how about the surprise team that a lot of people are high on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Right? At first blush, who do you fear most?
I'll be honest with you. I really like what the Rams have put together. And I think
I forgot about the Rams.
With Sean McVay, I think he's finally stepped past that. Is he just the trendy coach? And, the way the Super Bowl did that. But I think he just has continued to keep them competitive despite the fact they tried to sell out for that one Super Bowl. Stafford probably has one more run in him. They've gotten a little bit younger over the last couple of years. They were the team that had the Eagles, I guess, the closest to putting the Eagles out of the postseason a year ago. And I think that NFC North is going to kind of cannibalize itself. I think there's a lot of teams in there that could do something, could be competitive, but they're probably going to beat up on each other. And I look out west, and I don't buy the 49ers really returning to something of really excellence. The Seahawks, to me, don't scream like they're going to be something good. I think the Rams could take advantage of a division where I think they've got the upper hand right now.
So you think the Rams might be the Eagles' biggest competitor in the NFC?
I would think so right now. I do.
No respect for the Lions?
The Lions, it's going to be a show me type.
Are you catching Bill disease?
I might be catching a little bit of Bill disease when it comes to the Lions. Not that Dan Campbell's a fraud. I don't think that's the case, but I think he's going to have to adjust to not having Ben Johnson as his offensive coordinator, and I'm not positive that it's going to be this incredible season. And I've also never been a big Jared Goff guy. I think that also plays into it. If I'm betting on a team at this time of year in July, I'm going to bet on the quarterback of it, and I would bet a lot more on Matt Stafford than Jared Goff.
No respect for the Commanders?
Got respect for the Commanders.
A little bit of
respect for the Commanders. They are ancient as a roster.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is cool and all, but this is an old team. They were old a year ago and decided, you know what, we're just going to stay old.
Vikings and J.J. McCarthy?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Not a threat. Good team around them.
Yeah. Good team around him. Learning curve to get into this league.
All right.
Out last season.
Cowboys with Dak?
You know how I feel about the Cowboys this season. I don't think they're going to do anything in the postseason, so I'm not going to sit here and start with the threat to the Eagles winning something.
Okay.
But I do think they can win double-digit games and get to the postseason.
Okay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker.
You're talking about Todd Bowles, Temple Todd right there. That's a good coach down there in Tampa Bay. It's a team that's had the Eagles figured out quite a few times. They've sneakily run the South for a while.
Is he a little bit overrated as a coach, Todd?
I don't think so at all.
No?
No, I think if anything, underrated.
What does Tampa Bay do? What do?
They keep winning the South. They keep making the playoffs.
What do they win?
They haven't won anything, but who's he at as his quarterback?
I'm just saying, where do they win? They win the South by 9-7.
Yeah, that's still winning the division.
Or 9-8, whatever it is. All right, let's get to the real meat because we can't let this story go. Social media was just crazed yesterday. There was a video that they took of me, and I was getting destroyed, as well as Kincade getting destroyed for his take on it. The story that is still percolating is the story yesterday was in ESPN.com about Joel Embiid. And it turned out to be like a love versus hate type of scenario where you either are pro Embiid or you're anti-Embiid or you're anti-Sixer organization and pro Embiid. My position on that story was that the story itself came off as more woe is me from Joel Embiid. And I've seen a lot of woe is me from him over the years. Sometimes Joel gets lost in that kind of sentiment. I don't think that we can dispute that he does get wounded a lot and he plays that card a lot of being wounded. The opposite view is that the Sixers are the culprit in this whole thing because they have mishandled him from the jump. Now, for the people who think that, I would like to hear from them how exactly the Sixers have mishandled Joel Embiid. From some of the stuff that I've heard, he's pretty tough to deal with behind the scenes. And, the story pointed out, they gave him his own handler. They gave him his own trainer. I don't know what more. I'm down on the Sixers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be pro-Sixer here for the stuff that I've seen and what the team is right now. But as it pertains to Joel Embiid, I'd like to know from people, maybe I'm missing the point, what did they not do or what did they do that has been so harmful to his career? You want to offer any kind of...
Yeah, I can offer something for you there. And I think yesterday I said this. I think the Sixers have operated in extremes. When he got drafted, Sam Hinkie believed in him entirely. But the story does go into detail about pretty much it was Sam Hinkie, and then everyone else thought, this guy's never going to amount to an MVP, never going to amount to an all-star. He's even going to play for this team. He's lazy. And there was a lot of people inside the organization that did not believe in the Joel Embiid experience to the point of discounting. Then the organization shifts to Embiid's our chance. We like this Embiid guy. Then Colangelo really takes hold here, and Colangelo was actively trying to undermine the guy and wanted to trade him and build around Ben Simmons. And then you look at this current administration, they've gone so far the other way of giving everything of the keys to Embiid where we can't question when he shows up. We can't question this. We can't. And the accountability there for him, I feel like, has been lackluster from this organization. This organization's done so many pivots back and forth in the way they feel about Joel Embiid that they've never built the structure in which here is our star. We have to have him lead. We have to have him be the guy. We have to hold him accountable. It's either been we don't care for the guy, he should be out of here, he's not going to turn into anything, or it's either
Let's just wash away that we don't care about it because that regime's gone. Now, repeat what you said about this regime trying to do everything they can for him.
But I think that plays into this regime doing everything they can for him because he's seen so many iterations of this organization. That story clearly outlines why the trust and why the relationship between he and this organization is the way it is. To me, I don't think you can wash away what the previous regimes did because it plays into his relationship with these people.
That's fair. But you think this administration has coddled him?
Yeah.
Okay. So in coddling him, where is his culpability?
If you think that I read that and think that Joel Embiid comes off as blameless, I don't think you understand what I'm saying here.
Okay.
I'm just saying that you can't just erase the Sixer side of this whole thing.
All right, and I'm not trying to. But I'm looking at the player itself. The player himself always controls the narrative, I think, as far as if you're not going to be in tip-top shape all the time, you have a chance maybe to get more injured than if you were in shape. And I believe that he has not really lived up to those kind of responsibilities, which have led to a lot of his woes physically. So while I'm not on the Sixers side, I am not on Embiid's side either at this particular point. And because you're not on Embiid's side, you get blasted a lot by people. And so I would like to hear from the people today, the continuation of the pro-Embiid or anti-Sixer or anti-Embiid pro-Sixer people. And we'll have a discussion on it. 610-632-0967. 0975 is how you get in. 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Friday show, easy-paced show, but with a lot of intensity. The Mike Missanelli Show continues. It's 10:15. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. 610-632-0975. That's how you get in. I find it's funny because we do these little videos that we post on our opinion on a certain subject, and they're short. They're like 30 seconds. And in 30 seconds, you say what you need to say, but it comes off like it's the total tone of what your opinion is, and it's really not. It's a longer dissertation. When you have a discussion like this, it can't be reduced to 30 seconds. But 30 seconds are like for impact. So that goes viral, and people react to it. And people react with anger and venom towards you with that 30-second little clip there. And so I got a lot of that yesterday. And, Ray, what do I do when I get the venom that's over the top?
What'd you do?
I block them.
Okay, that was my guess.
Yeah, it's a block. It's a block. It's an instant block. Folks, listen, we can have a discussion on certain things, but when you go over the top and you get vulgar and you get insulting and you say stuff like you should retire immediately and like all these demeaning stuff, which is uncalled for. If we have an opinion, then give me your opinion and tell me why you think my opinion's wrong. But you don't have to get vulgar about it. When you get vulgar, what am I supposed to do? I get a vulgar text from somebody over an opinion for 30 seconds, and I'm supposed to go, oh, yuck, yuck, yuck. That's not a yuck fest type of thing. The other legs of this today, Eric Gordon is out there vehemently denying, because people now are trying to put it together, since Joel kind of gave a hint that he knows who leaked out that situation with Maxey calling him out. He said, I know who did it. And then he slyly talked about, well, it's free agency season, so could they still be on the team or not? Yeah, they'd probably still be on the team. And everybody going, well, who could that be? Who is a free agent that could still be part of the team? Well, there were three candidates for that: Kyle Lowry, Kelly Oubre, four: Yabusele, and Eric Gordon. And Eric Gordon was the likely candidate for the leakage, and he, to the point where he had to come out and vehemently deny that he was the leak. Ray, do you have any feelings on that whole leak situation? We have a text on it, I believe, right?
Yeah, we do have a text on it, which is throwing out a wild accusation here that I'm reading just because it's fodder here. I don't think I believe this one at all.
Yeah.
AJ from Coatesville, the leak is not Eric Gordon, it's Paul George. The direct quote from the leak refers to Joel as Big Fella. PG was constantly referring to Joel as Big Fella on his pod. In all the years Joel's been a Sixer, I've never heard anyone else on the team refer to him as Big Fella, and PG was calling them out all the time. I'm not sure he even refers to him by that name, and I don't even bother with the pod anymore. That's why it's getting swept under the rug, because Joel knows PG isn't going anywhere. Joel was out for blood after that comment, now is letting it go. If it were Eric Gordon and Joel didn't want him here, there would no longer be Eric Gordon on the Sixers.
Is that plausible?
I don't think so.
You don't think? 'Cause PG, well, Joel threw in the free agent type of hints, though.
Right. So
Was he just throwing people off by saying that? Could it be Paul George?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. They seem to have a pretty good relationship.
Could it be Maxey? could Maxey have leaked his own stuff?
I don't think it'd be Maxey.
Seems plausible, doesn't it? Maxey leaks his own stuff. If he was upset enough to call him out, maybe he would be upset enough to leak it.
But I think Maxey understands Joel enough to know that's not productive with Joel. Like, to me, it almost feels like a veteran that's like, Joel needs to change.
Yeah.
Like, Maxey, to me, wouldn't be he needs to change. I think Maxey, at this point, has been teammates with Embiid long enough to know that that's not a productive way of getting Joel's attention. Like, if this story tells you anything about Joel Embiid, the trust issues are there. He does not trust many people. Maxey, if he really thought after being his teammate for 4 years that the best way to go about doing that would be to go to the press about this, that's a mistake. I think it took enough for Maxey to get up in that team meeting and say what he said in front of everyone to Joel anyways, because you see the way that the organization is. And I don't begrudge Maxey for doing what he did. I think if he felt like he needed to call it out, he should call it out.
Yeah.
But I think if you've been around Embiid that long and you think that's the way to solve it, I think you're probably mistaken.
Our pal Keith Pompey has a mailbag he does every week, and someone asked him, I guess this is yesterday, a fresh question, what does the Joel Embiid article on ESPN.com mean to the 76ers? And Keith says the article is not a good look for the franchise. It also appears that the culture hasn't changed since Sam Hinkie served as general manager from May 2013 to April 2016. Back then, people criticized the Sixers for having a bad culture and for not holding players accountable. But based on Embiid's statement, there's still a less than desirable culture and a lack of trust several seasons later under Daryl Morey, the team president of basketball operations. Now, is that lack of trust from everybody, or is it just from Joel Embiid?
I mean, I can't imagine.
I got the impression that Joel Embiid doesn't trust many people, nor does he trust the organization, even if the organization tries to do right by him. That he can never be satisfied. Type of guy.
See, I don't know. I don't feel like this organization, to say it's done right by him every time, would be giving this organization too much credit.
No, I don't think they've done right by him every time, but I think that they've made over the last couple of years. They've really tried to coddle him, have they not? I mean, they really had their hands tied with the Olympics situation, but they seem to be okay with that whole thing. And then when he came back, they said, well, he looks good, but he's not quite in basketball shape. They made a lot of excuses for the guy this year.
But it did seem like whenever he was on the floor, like post-Christmas, like that January, February, where you could see he was laboring and he was not Joel Embiid, like him feeling like he had to go to Lisa Salters to say he needed surgery was another example of, hey, this organization wants you out on the floor because we have to prove that this is going to work, and I'm not ready to be out there on the floor.
Well, did he need surgery? Maybe the organization said he doesn't need surgery. I mean, he thinks he needs surgery because he can't. This knee condition is not going away. He thinks he needs surgery. He says it out loud. I guess we'll get to surgery. We didn't even find out what the surgery did. Like normally you would tell, yeah, it fixed this and this and this and A, B, and C. We didn't hear anything about that. I see. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. There are two entities that I don't trust at all right now, and one of them's Embiid, one of them's the Sixers. So I can't get to the real crux of what the matter is. All I know is that now he says it's going to be done on my terms, which means I might not feel like playing until the 40th game of the season. 610-632-0975. We'll get back to our text where we got John on hold. We'll get to John from North Philly. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The All-Star break has finally come to a close, and the Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo getting the start for the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday here on the Mike Missanelli Show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full conversation with Stark on our website, 975thefanatic.com. Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight against the Nets at 6 o'clock to wrap up their slate in Vegas. In Houston this weekend, the Union are in action Saturday at 8:30. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And we are less than a week away from training camp getting going next week for the Eagles. Players reporting on next Tuesday. This update brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE Sedan. Hurry now through July 31st. Learn more at mbusa.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
right, it's 10:29. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We're all over the place tonight. The Phil's back at it tonight. Final day of our Birds' Biggest Questions on a Friday. Who are the Eagles' biggest threats in the NFC? And the story that still goes on and on and on, the Joel Embiid story, and where that leads the Sixers for this year. And I'll just say for the record, okay, the story is the story. And we can take pieces of it. We can react to it. I always look at the bottom line. And the bottom line for me is no matter what this story says, is that the Embiid as the marquee player who can lead a team to a championship here has sailed. The ship has sailed. There is no way that I can look at this team with the problems that it has with two aging players who are injured. I just don't see any kind of resurgence of those two players who are supposed to be their mainstays to lead a team to greater heights. I just don't see it. I think that we are in I don't know what you call a waiting period here for the 76ers. A waiting period for a waiting period. Meaning, like, this, we have to wait for this to be totally ground down to start over. Probably with a new regime. It won't be Morey's regime that rebuilds it. And then you have to figure out a way to rebuild an NBA team. You know how difficult that is? To rebuild an NBA team, to draft the right players, to get a star or two. They thought they had it with this. And it is evident to me, maybe not to everybody, but it's certainly evident to me that this particular Sixer franchise is cooked to the point where they can't compete for a championship. They can compete for a playoff spot, and we're back to the old days, the Iguodala days, where, yeah, you can compete for a playoff spot, but you're really not going to go anywhere, and you can't. Why? Because the two players that are supposed to lead you someplace are only going to play 40 games, if that. And with those guys playing 40 games, what do you expect that you're going to do? You expect you're going to win enough games to get a favorable seed in the playoffs? Or you can win enough games to be like the 8th seed or a play-in seed? And it's disheartening. That's why I'm focused on the Phillies and the Eagles. Right, Ray?
That's right. Do you want me to sit here and tell you that I think they got a championship window in front of them? Do you want me to spit in the face of the facts in front of you about this Sixers team right now?
But how do you feel about that? I feel depressed about it.
Oh, it's disheartening. I was on...
I'm not even angry anymore. I feel just depressed about it.
Yeah. Monday night, the Paul George thing dropped, and I was doing the 2 hours leading up to the home run derby here. And, like, that news drops, and there's nothing... Like, do you want me to pivot this to a conversation about their championship odds? Because I didn't think they had championship odds. Do you want me to talk about how it impacts this team on the floor? This is what we're living in. We're living in a world where medical updates are kind of our big news. It's not like they're like I feel like, oh, they're going to go and win a big game here and it's going to change my mind about this team. I'm just in this kind of, I don't want to call it malaise. I don't know. Like, it's just a disheartened, broken down.
It just goes back to terrible misjudgment by the front office people. And it started with the Harden thing and then it continued with the Paul George thing. And it's like, what are you looking at? Are you watching the NBA and how the NBA is played these days? You can't rely on aged stars to carry you through.
The whole Harden thing doesn't seem so bad now, huh?
It still does. It really still does.
You would have been out of the Harden deal before you would have been out of the Paul George deal.
I don't know. They went from Harden to Paul George, and I both acquisitions. I went, come on, man, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was against them bringing back Harden, so I can't really sit here and tell you told you so because I was same there.
Listen, I was against George from the start, and you know I was. You heard me from the start going, why? I mean, what are you expecting from this guy? Well, he had a good year. He came off a good year. Yeah, guys play around like that. The NBA players are the biggest con ever. Like, they know what's ahead of them. They know they're on the last year of a contract. They know they got to step it up. But when they step it up, they also know they don't have much left. All right, let's go to John in North Philly to start things off. John, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. John.
How you doing now, Missanelli?
What's up, John?
What are you thinking about now?
What am I thinking about?
Yeah, man. What are you thinking about?
What are you thinking about? Are you called?
Yeah, sir. Me thinking we want to talk about Joel Embiid.
Go ahead.
And before we go to that, we want to ask you, why you ask a question? Who you scared of? Who the Eagles scared? Who the bumbleclot Eagles scared of? Nobody's scared of nobody.
I didn't say they were scared of anybody. I said who's going to be their biggest threats.
I mean, not think that. Not threats. There's no threats. And the Chiefs, the best team in the NFL.
That's what we're talking about, the NFC. Who's the threats in the NFC, John?
Okay, my bad. We want to go to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, what he do for this team? Nothing.
Well, it's not like he's done nothing. He's been a great player for a while on this team.
That one he play. He not play. He played 20 games a year. Get him out of here. Me don't want him here. Me trade him for a bag of balls for all I care. Me not want him here no more.
Okay. I got you, buddy. This sounds like a fake accent to me.
Yeah.
You get that impression?
I got that impression.
The
as
fake
well.
accent?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm trying to do serious radio here. Let's go to the text board. What are people saying?
All right, let's go with this one here. I think the Sixers are trying to do right by Embiid now because they ruined his career with the process. He thought that this was how the NBA worked until other vets came in, and now it's too late for them to fix it.
Yeah, it really is. But I love the people that have shared the optimism. I wish I was you. I wish I was one of these people who could look at the world and find optimism.
Me?
No,
Oh.
I wish I was one of somebody who's looking at the Sixers, like the Bill opinion. Well, you never know. And, these guys stay healthy, and they got a young core now, and maybe they can surprise people. And I go, the dead reality of that is just no, they can't. Like I'm swallowed by reality, and I wish I wasn't. I wish I sometimes could look at it and go, yeah, maybe there's something could happen. Maybe, possible. Can something good happen out of this? And my body goes, no.
I can't even
can't do it.
It's so bad when I can't let myself get swept up in it because I've been swept up in it a million times. Like,
Yeah.
turning off the emotion here is like painful because I'm like, I can't even. I wish I could sit here in July and be like, you know what? If I really just peer through this small hole in the window here, I could see the window open. I could see this happening for this team, and I can't even find that small little glimpse. It's terrible. It's a horrible way to
It
feel.
really is, and it doesn't make me happy. It just doesn't. Like, reality sometimes makes me sad. It's like, oh man, I wish it was different.
Yeah, and like in the story where it says it's the most important offseason of his career, I'm like,
Well,
I want to believe that. I guess from his perspective,
see,
in terms
this
of
is-
having a career after this, it is.
This
but
is the big con. He says stuff like that all the time. This is the most important, alluding to the fact that maybe I have to be in tip-top shape and you're going to see a different me. And by the same token, he's saying, no, I'm not going to play until I'm ready. It's like there's always a paradox. 610-632-0975 back after this.
Happy
Show 610-632-0975. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about Embiid, where I feel like I have a lack of trust in what he says and what he does. The team meeting where Maxey confronts him as being late for team activities, meetings, team events, and dragging the morale of the group down. The upshot of that is somebody leaks it, it gets out. Now, this is what Joel Embiid says. That goes back to the trust thing. Once you cross that, you can't expect me to be part of a team meeting again. That's just not going to happen. Now, here he has shifted the focus to the leak instead of the actual substance of the team meeting in the first place. So, again, there's the woe is me part comes out. Wow, it was the leak. I can't be part of a team meeting again. In other words, kind of getting like a little bit of a baby because the team meeting may be beneficial. Now he's not going to contribute because somebody leaked it. But the fact that they had the team meeting was his fault in the first place. You see what I'm saying, Ray?
I understand what you're saying. And just working this through the Embiid perspective of what's happening here, I believe that team meeting was the weeks following the Marcus Hayes incident. So Embiid's already been through the ringer of public opinion, conversation, the ramping up, all those things. From his perspective, his teammate going to a media member and saying, this team meeting happened, here's what happened, Embiid got ripped by Maxey. Joel's sitting there like, man, I can't win already. Why does my teammate have to go to the media and tell them that that's happening?
Absolutely right. It was a coward move for anybody who leaked that. I get it. But he shifted the focus from the blame really is about the guy who leaked it, not about him being late for the team activities.
No,
he's always got some kind of woe is me thing. And that's what bugs me about the guy. Like, for him to say, I'm never going to a team meeting again, it's a baby thing to say. It's a baby thing because you're not going to go to a team meeting. It's going to only hurt the team. Why don't you confront whoever you thought leaked it? You say you know the leak. You confront it. You end it. Bang. And then you can have another team meeting later. Instead of saying, I'm not going to be part of a team meeting again because of what was done to me. Well, what was done to you, what the team meeting was called because you're shirking your responsibilities as a team member.
And that's very fair assessment on what he is. I think this story, when you go through it, there are clear examples of when you're talking about his leadership. He talks about leading on the court. Okay, well, you got to realize what you are to this franchise. You are the constant in this franchise. They need you to be a little bit more than on the floor, hey, this is what I am. And I think he acknowledges that and saying he's starting to get better relationships with his teammates and Maxey and all those things. But I think if you go through this story and you don't see flaws in his leadership and flaws in the way he has gone about being the franchise player here, I think you're naive to it.
All right. I mean, that's all I'm saying. You get called out for doing something that other players think is detrimental to the team. And the issue now, that's ignored completely. And his issue coming from this story is, well, I don't trust anybody. You see why I don't trust anybody? Once you cross that line with me, I'm never going to have a team meeting again. And that is a baby response. That's an immature, baby-ish response to it.
But to that end, whoever did it is not in the right for doing it.
No, I'm not saying they're in the right. Two wrongs don't happen to make a right. Two wrongs are two wrongs. But the major wrong that precipitated the team meeting was that some people wanted to get it off their chest that he was shirking his responsibilities as a teammate.
Right, but I think that person also didn't follow the responsibilities of keeping that one in-house. Like, to be Joel Embiid in that moment, you obviously have an issue with it.
Yeah, you're right. That guy who did it is a snitch. Snitches get stitches. Nobody likes snitches, right? I get it. But the major issue is that, a guy like Maxey was even bugged by Embiid's behavior.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Maxey be bugged by it. I mean, Maxey, to me, strikes me as, like, the energy that Embiid, like, the way Maxey goes about his business doesn't seem to be the same the way that Embiid does. They get along, but it doesn't seem like they both go about their business the same way. Like, Maxey is more especially at this point in his career, the smiling, I'm going to be out in public, I'm going to be around people. Embiid's hit the point where he doesn't want to be out. Like, he's not that type of guy. Like, I think their personalities clash a little bit in terms of who they are. Not that they clash with one another, but they're different people.
I just think that Joel Embiid, sometimes he'll hear suggestions from people. Sometimes he'll be permissive to it and ignore it. And sometimes he'll just ignore it. Like what Shaq said, you got to be a dominant player, but you got to be a dominant player. You're right, Shaq. When I heard Shaq and Barkley talk about it, I got to be a dominant player. Then he stopped doing it. And now this one here, it's like instead of saying, you guys are right, I can't be late to team meetings, blah, 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 blah. It turns into this. Somebody crossed my trust.
I do think in the context of this story, though, there's a lot talked about mentally where Embiid's at, mentally why Embiid is the person that he is. And I think that example for him of the team meeting does strike a chord of why he doesn't trust people.
That's fine, except you still have a job to do. You're getting paid $60 million a year. I get it. Like, I could sit here and say, well, I'm disgruntled about a lot of stuff here, and it's going to affect, and I come in here and I'm going to be mopey, and it's going to affect my performance, and blah, 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 blah. You can't do that, but you're sitting and paid to do a job. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying that he's not showing up to team activities because of that person, but I think he's now going to tread lightly around that person.
Okay, well, whatever he does with that person is irrelevant to me. What I'm looking at is the means rather than the end. The means is somebody had a problem with you shirking your responsibility as a teammate by showing up late or doing whatever you were doing. Let's get to the phones. Dave, Glenside. Dave, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dave.
Hey, Mike. Glad to hear you back on the radio.
Thanks, man.
I used to listen to you all the time on the afternoon show.
I appreciate it.
And I haven't called in a while. So, anyway, the Sixers situation, Embiid has to have a thicker skin. That's for sure. If he's shirking responsibility, he's, quote unquote, the best player on the team, although that's questionable. If you put Maxey next to him, at least Maxey's playing. But, he's got to have a thicker skin and just kind of own up to, dude, you got to show up on time. You got to put the idea out there that you care, and that's a problem. But I also wanted to talk about another thing, and that is the failure of the process as a whole. Even though, Embiid, you could say he was a good high draft pick, and he was, but, injury problems, you can't predict that. But as far as the rest of, what did they have, like 5 different occasions? They had top 3 picks, and they were all complete failures, So the Sixers, the lack of eyeing talent and drafting properly is really what caused this whole thing. They should have had a much better team and maybe even a championship.
Yeah, they should have. But let's look at the players they took. The one mistake was Okafor. Because they should have realized that the league had changed to the point where a guy like Okafor wasn't going to be any good. But their intentions of taking the 2 guards, and Ben Simmons was the consensus #1 pick. It just didn't work out because he lost his desire to play. I don't know what happened to him, but
high ceiling.
No, yeah. He was the absolute best selection they could have made that year. They did. They made it. Markelle Fultz they were in love with. He had a goofy head, too. Sometimes you can't predict a goofy head.
Yeah, but like in Simmons' case, I would think they'd be able to check out if this guy really loves basketball, because I never really
did he love basketball early in his career? He made the freaking All-Star team. He turned the Atlanta series. The Atlanta series turned him into mush, and that's his own mental problem. But the pick itself was the consensus #1 pick.
I know, but it just pisses me off that they swung and missed so many times.
Well, you get mad at Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz. Don't get mad at the Sixers. They made the selections in good faith that these guys were going to help their team. Both of their heads went kablooey.
Yeah, well, there was a couple others. I can't think of them right now. But it just seems to me that they're really not a good team at picking talent, at least up to this point.
Yeah, I disagree. I really do disagree. I think it just didn't work out. And the process wasn't a failure to me. At that time, Hinkie realized the only way you could actually be good was to stack draft picks, like other teams have done more recently, more successfully. They tried to stack draft picks. The people say they didn't take Jason Tatum. They weren't going to get Jason Tatum anyway. The Celtics were going to take him no matter what. And they fell in love with Markelle Fultz, and they took him. It just didn't work out. So I don't think the process was a failure. You could look at it years down the road and say, yeah, it didn't work. But I don't think it was a failure. Their mindset wasn't a failure. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The All-Star break has finally come to a close. The Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo will start for the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday on the Mike Missanelli show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full interview with Jason Stark on our website, 975thefanatic.com. The Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight against the Nets at 6 o'clock to wrap up their slate in Vegas. In Houston this weekend, the Union face Houston at 8:30 on Saturday. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And training camp gets going next week for the Birds. Players report on Tuesday. This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Let's fake a deal. Yeah, we're trying to make a deal for the Phillies. We've been doing it all week, and we have a fake deal. And we asked the people when we put this deal out there, would you do this deal or not? And today's deal is actually adds an outfielder, and we'll get to that at 11 o'clock. Now, when we talked about some previous deals, they didn't include another everyday player. They were just a relief pitcher deal.
Yes.
So this one doesn't bring the relief pitcher.
No.
So,
No, it doesn't.
So this
Proof that not everything in this world can be perfect,
no,
Mike.
It's not going to be perfect. Our perfect scenario is they get two. They get the relief hammer, and they get an outfielder with some pop from the right side.
If we've learned one thing this year, or this week, Mike, is that I would be fired by most of Philadelphia every single week if I worked for the Phillies.
Because of these let's fake it deals?
A lot of people upset in my mentions.
Really?
Yes.
Now, why are people getting upset? You propose logical deals.
I thought this is the one where I'm trying to struggle to find what the return would be and what would make it work.
Yeah.
So this was probably the toughest one for me. All week, though, it's massive overpay.
Really?
To me, I think maybe we need a little bit of an acknowledgement that the other side of the deal also wants to get something in return. But I understand why people don't want to give up prospects to get what they want. I just think maybe, you should realize how expensive it can be to go get a relief pitcher and an everyday player.
Well, here's my sense. I think people overvalue this ranking system. When they see, well, he's their sixth-ranked prospect, they're assuming that's a really good prospect. Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe the Phillies only have three. Anyway, you're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got Ryan and Rufus on hold. Hang in there because it's time for Let's Fake a Deal.
It might be a bullpen pitcher. It could be an outfielder. Or what if it's both? Let's find out on Let's Fake a Deal. Here's your host, the 17th Assistant General Manager of the Phillies, Mike Missanelli.
They haven't listened to me all week, so I've been demoted to the 18th seat. That's in the corner of the back row. Not on the side, in the corner.
Who got the 17th role? They promote Jimmy Rollins from a special advisor?
The bat boy who they got
Adam?
Adam Krognail, who's got all kinds of feature stories on him. He moved in there. All right, let's fake a deal. Ray, that's this name. This is the name I've been hearing since. Well, we're coming up to our 1-year anniversary on this show.
We are.
And Billy was part of this show. And
He was?
You'd be way back when, last year's trade deadline. We were talking about this dude, right?
We couldn't go a day without talking about this dude.
So, who do the Phillies acquire and for whom?
All right, in this one, it is Luis Robert Jr., who was acquired by the Phillies, outfielder for the White Sox in exchange. The 9th prospect in the Phillies system, Griffin Burkholder. Would you do this deal?
Listen, Luis Robert or Luis Roberto or Luis Robert Jr. doesn't do anything for me at this point. I don't know if it's that an upgrade at all. Now, Griffin Burkholder, if you give away your 9th prospect, I don't think that's a big loss. So I guess if this is the only guy you can get, it is a right-handed bat, and at least you have another option.
And in this world, I'm assuming that you are eating some of the money here for him.
Yeah.
Because you're giving up such a low prospect. Really, when it comes to Luis Robert, this is a way to gauge if anyone still has any interest in that guy. Because I've made this price tag incredibly low for you. He has had another poor season. I am not doing this deal.
You're not
Mike,
doing the deal.
I'm just not interested. A year ago, maybe I could have been swindled into the Luis Robert.
You're holding on to Griffin Burkholder for some reason?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he's a future 30-30 guy. No, the reason I'm not going for this is because whatever you have to pay him the rest of the season and then buying out whatever it is, the $2 million to buy out each of his next 2 seasons, it's really not worth it. It's like burning money.
Let's put it this way.
I don't think he's a difference maker.
Let's put it this way. Would you rather have Luis Robert up at the plate against a left-hander playing center field or Johan Rojas?
Ooh, turn him into a platoon guy? I mean,
well,
Rojas actually has better average.
right a right-handed center field perspective, would you rather have this guy or Rojas at the plate?
He's got lower average than Max Kepler right now.
I know, but that's not the question.
Rojas got a better batting average.
Oh, you would rather have Rojas?
Not
Just
really.
say it.
Not really. I just don't want to use any prospect capital, even as low as it is,
Okay.
to go after a guy that I don't think is that big of a difference maker.
All right,
for
so
you.
you're not doing the deal that you proposed.
Probably not, no.
Okay.
I'm just not a
There you
big Luis
go.
Robert guy.
There you go. That's Let's Fake a Deal for today. All right, let's go to the phones and talk to Ryan in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Ryan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Mike.
What's happening?
You know what this Embiid article tells me
What's that?
for sure? He's cooked. He knows he's cooked, and he can sense the organization kind of focus moving away from him. And this is what he does, Mike. When he feels that he's no longer the focal point, he becomes an attention. You know what?
Yeah.
He sees that it's Maxine McCain, Grimes. You got the shiny new toy in Edgecombe. And we're moving away from him, Mike, and he feels that, and he wants to become the focal point, and he's no longer the focal point.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean,
bothers him.
it's not a bad look from you on this.
And
Go ahead.
and the thing is they just gave him, and no organization bats 1,000. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
They just gave him an extension he doesn't even deserve, and he has the nerve to come out. And I don't want to seem like I'm defending the organization because they made their mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
but they just gave him a 3-year.
Yeah, he gets $60 million a year.
Extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't even deserve it, and he has the nerve to come out and talk about the organization like this.
And he's alluding to the fact that I'm not playing until I'm ready to play, even though he did get that extension.
Right, and that's just
Yeah, here's what I think about Joel. I think Joel has been handed all these accolades over the years about how transformative a player he is, that nobody can do the things that Joel does. And I think he's bought into that stock and barrel, and he's turned diva-esque into instead of killer-esque.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree 100%. And the coddling, it's kind of funny that he says that he feels like he's I don't know, like we're not catering to him and things of that nature. When he's getting the extension,
He needs to be catered to, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. That's not a bad take by Ryan. Let's get Rufus in here. Rufus, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic from Fredericksburg, Virginia. What's up, Rufus?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Mike. So the thing that I have about Embiid is this. We can always speak about the tangible assets that he brings to the table. The bottom line, he has zero intangible assets. No leadership skills, no leadership abilities, poor insight. Years ago, I told a friend of mine that we'll never win anything with Embiid. Okay, and on top of all that, he's gaslighting rather than accept responsibility for his behavior for being called out. So I think you brought it up. You're called out in a meeting because you're not showing up. Rather than accept responsibility and say, you know what, let me talk to the guy who leaked it and let me move forward and let me go back to the meeting, to say that, well, I'm not going to any more meetings.
He flips it to woe is me. You know?
Yes, he's a child. He's a child. And therefore, he's immature. He will never lead this team to any darn place. So the bottom line is all he's doing is stealing money. And he's pathetic. And I think you made also the reference that, yeah, it's easy for somebody to say, you know what, I'm on the last year of my contract. I'm going to go ahead and bear down. And then once I do that, I'm going to get a nice contract. And then I'm not going to do any damn thing else.
Yeah, that's Paul George.
Yeah, and actually, you're right, but they all do it. And indeed, of course, the most selfish thing he did was play in the Olympics. I mean, that's his right to play in the Olympics.
Yeah.
We get it. But at the end of the day, we don't have championship parades for winning the damn Olympics.
Yeah. See, I would have respected him more had he played for Cameroon. Like, I didn't think he had to play for Team USA. I mean, what?
Yeah, play for your own damn team. Number one.
Your roots are your heart. It is your country.
Yeah, root for your own, play for your own country, because Cameroon would probably throw a parade for that. But in Philadelphia, we're not throwing the parade because you won a damn gold medal.
Yeah, and Cameroon would have been eliminated quickly, so it would have saved his legs.
There you go. There you go.
All right, Rufus.
Thanks for taking my call.
All right, I appreciate it, man. 610-632-0975. On the other side, we're going to examine those drafts that people are talking about with the process. and I would like to know from people who they would have taken. Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Andrews.
Excuse me, 11:12. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. We've got a deal of the week this week. Storybook Land's pretty cool. Last day for it. Check it out. Fanatic deal of the week. Actually, it goes to the weekend till Sunday. You can get a ticket to Storybook Land, world famous Storybook Land in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, for half off. One ticket, half off price. It's a great destination for family fun with rides and attractions inspired by classic children's stories. And this exclusive offer will last on our website till this Sunday at 975thefanatic.com/deals. All right. a process. Everybody says that process was a failure. The idea of the process, I will go to my grave saying, was not a failure. The idea of drafting premier talent and stacking the talent and building something through that, to me, back then was a great way to go. They got the number one pick twice. They got Embiid, and then in the 2016 draft, they take Ben Simmons. Now, a lot of people look at that now and go, that's a terrible failure. You know who the second pick in that draft was, Ray?
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram. Now, Ben Simmons at the time was a 6'10" point guard who could have given you such a difference at that position. And for the first couple of years, did give you that difference. I don't know what happens to guys' heads, but his head turned into mush after the Atlanta series, and he lost his desire to play. That's his fault. That's not the Sixers' fault. They took the best talent possible at that position. That draft was Simmons, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown. It turned out to be a pretty solid player. Dragan Bender from Croatia. Chris Dunn from Providence. Buddy Hield. Jamal Murray, all right, at 7 was a pretty good pick by Denver. Marquise Chris. Jacob Podol. Thon Maker. And Sabonis went 11th. Now, that's not a great draft. Yabusele went 16th, by the way. To the
Should
Celtics.
the Sixers have taken Yabusele over Ben Simmons?
Blake Beasley
6-1-0.
later in the round. DeAndre Bembry of St. Joe's got picked in the first round. But the consensus number one pick by everybody was Ben Simmons. Now, they go to the next year. I wish people would get this straight. The Boston Celtics had the number one pick in the draft. They were going to take Jason Tatum all the way. He was going to be their selection. They realized the Sixers were sweet on Markelle Fultz, and so they slid an extra draft pick out of the Sixers to move down to 3, where they knew they were still going to get Tatum since the Lakers had already expressed they were taking Lonzo Ball. Now, people say, well, they got the first pick in the draft. They could have taken Tatum there. Well, that would have been that wasn't the deal. Like, they would have only made that deal if the Sixers were going to take Markelle Fultz. They weren't going to give the Sixers the number one pick and then have the Sixers say, we're taking Jason Tatum. It was an impossibility for them to get Jason Tatum. So they took Markelle Fultz at number 1 that they thought could be a combo guard, but a 2 alongside the point guard of 6'10" Ben Simmons, where they would have a really special backcourt. It didn't work out because both guys had chooch heads. Didn't work out. Mysterious shoulder injury and a goofy head, and then a guy who gets his butt hurt after the Atlanta series because Joel Embiid said something and Doc Rivers said something. And he actually quit the game after that. In his head, Ben Simmons quit the game. Now, how can you predict that?
I am who I am. It is what it is.
All right. That draft, by the way, in case you're interested, Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum, Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox. All right, nice. I love De'Aaron Fox. Jonathan Isaac. Yeah. Lauri Markkanen. All right. Frank Niklina, whatever, however you pronounce that, the point guard from France is out of the league. Dennis Smith, Zach Collins, Malik Monk, Luke Kennard was taken 12th. Donovan Mitchell, 13th. That was a steal. Traded to Utah. Was taken by the Nuggets, got traded to Utah. Adebayo, Justin Jackson, and so on and so on and so on. OG Anunoby, taken 23rd.
That's a better draft than I remember. Jeez.
Kyle Kuzma, taken 27th. Oh, everybody's favorite backup center was taken in that first round. Tony Bradley.
Hey, man.
How about Tony Bradley?
Big role. Big role for the Pacers.
And Josh Hart went the last pick in the first round that year.
Would have been nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the phones. We got Reggie. He's currently in Utah. Reggie, our traveling truck driver. What's happening today, Reggie, in Utah?
Ogden, about
Ogden, Utah.
25
Guess what?
miles. Yeah.
I've been to Ogden, Utah.
Oh.
That's Weber State is in Ogden,
Yes,
Utah.
Yes, yeah. No, that guy that called that was on Reverb that talked about Joel needs thicker skin. It's not the skin. It's the fact that he wasn't a stand-up dude when he was late to many meetings. We can be late to one meeting, but he was late to many meetings. Also, after the Olympics, he decided to not be ready for the start of the season. He decided that. And that is where the trust began to be broken with the teammates. He did that. So then, let me clean this up. In the meeting, when Tyrese Maxey got all in his shorts, he got his butt hurt. He should have been more stand-up. If he'd have been more stand-up, again, we might be late to a meeting or two, but if he was consistently late to meetings, my
problem with the whole thing. Listen, team meetings do whatever team meetings do. If they had a problem with him, they wanted to call him out on a couple things. That's eminently fair because sometimes I think you have to clean the air. He flipped it around in this story to be a trust thing that it was leaked. Like, forget about my violation. It was somebody else's violation that took over.
Right. And he broke the trust by not wanting to be ready for the start of the season. All the work that they were doing to get ready for the start of the season, he decided, okay, maybe I'll be ready 25, 30 games into the season. Yeah, so he did it.
I got to be honest with you. I'm sure a lot of teammates rolled their eyes at him.
Yep.
All right. And
all the work we're putting in, and you can't be ready with us at the beginning. Yeah.
I don't know. And listen, I'm not saying that they didn't need Embiid all these years. Of course they needed him. He was a dynamic player, one of the great players, MVP player. But I'm also looking at the other side of it. Is that you're also a diva, and it's not always everybody else's fault. It's not always woe is me, and people aren't treating me right. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The All-Star break has finally come to a close, and the Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo will start for the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday here on the Mike Missanelli Show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full conversation with Jason on our website, 975thefanatic.com. The Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight against the Nets at 6 o'clock to wrap up their slate in Vegas. In Houston this weekend, the Union are in action Saturday at 8:30. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And training camp gets going next week for the Eagles. Tuesday, the players report, and Wednesday is the first practice. This update is brought to you by Electrical Workers Local 269 and the Electrical Training Alliance. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269. The Electrical Training Alliance can offer a career with no college debt. To learn more, go to IBEW269.com. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Let me take these things are fresh in my mind. Sometimes my brain goes, hey, you got to bring this up. One is, have you seen this commercial for, I think it's a mattress firm, where the guy dips his whole hand into the avocado dip with the chip?
No, I don't think so.
So the guy's standing over it's like a house party of some sort. The guy gets the chip. He digs it so deep that he gets his hand in it. And then he pulls it up and he eats it. And there's a guy observing it, and the guy goes, how do you sleep at night? And the guy
yes.
And the guy goes, I sleep on a mattress firm mattress, so I sleep very well. And I'm going, God, what a repulsive act.
Yes, I have seen this one.
See
this is
commercial?
horrible.
Oh.
The licking of the fingers, too.
He starts licking the fingers, big sloppy mess.
It's the type of person that does not deserve to be at a party, ever.
But it's repulsive to even watch the commercial.
Well, it's repulsive.
Sticking his freaking hand in the avocado dip.
Especially to think about what it's probably based off of.
It's that Seinfeld episode.
Yes.
Double dip in the chip.
But I'm sure that someone has experienced this in real life. Like, this is the idea that repulses me is not seeing it happen. It's knowing that it happens and hoping that it's not someone I know doing it.
Some big dirty hand sloppily dives into avocado, and the next person is completely unsuspecting. And the next person dips the chip in there, getting the guy's hand germs.
Yeah.
Repulsive. Here's the other one. This woman has a cat on her shoulder, sitting on a sofa. She hears from the distance her kid going, Mom, I fell. I'm bleeding. And she goes, okay, get a Band-Aid. He goes, I'm bleeding. She goes, grab two. Mother of the year. Mother of the year. She's got the cat on her shoulder. The kid's in peril. Grab a Band-Aid. I'm bleeding. Grab two.
Is it a Band-Aid commercial?
No, it's a commercial for cat food. How she loves her cat so much. She loves her cat more than her kid. Mother of the year.
All right, I've watched this.
Have you seen this? Oh, you just called it up?
I just pulled it up.
She's got the cat on her shoulder. The kid's yelling from upstairs. Mom, I fell. I cut myself. Grab a Band-Aid. I'm bleeding. Grab two. Mother of the year. She should be locked up.
Someone calling CPS.
These are the things that bug me. Let's get a text board. What we got on the text board about our Philadelphia 76ers?
Calling process a failure isn't exactly fair. The process was the right idea, but the league stepped in, brought in Colangelo, and he was a bigger hiccup in the process. People forget about Brian's burner accounts that had him and put us 2 steps behind because he was a league appointment.
Yeah, I get it. I get all the Brian Colangelo nonsense. But the process itself, people were, well, process was a failure. The idea of the process was not a failure. They didn't let him carry it through. They zanged him. Hinky.
Ironic, Ben Simmons crumbles after a teammate says something and Embiid doesn't do it. The team meetings are because of what a teammate said something. I don't even understand what this person's trying to say here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're trying to make Embiid is Simmons. I started reading it. I was like, this.
I just not find it amusing that Joel in this story turns that team meeting into something woe is me for him. That somebody leaked it. Like the cause and the effect. It wasn't the cause, it was the effect.
But again, is he wrong for feeling the way he feels about that?
No, he's not wrong. But Ray, like when you say this, that goes back to the trust thing. Once you cross that, you can't expect me to be part of a team meeting again. That's just not going to happen. How about if he added, I was wrong for doing all that stuff, but, that shouldn't be leaked. How about that? How about taking some personal responsibility on why they called the team meeting in the first place?
This is a logic I've heard you applied a lot of times to athletes in the way they answer questions. What was the question? What are you answering there? Are you asking about how he felt about that report getting out?
Yeah,
if he's giving you how he feels about that getting out.
That's the conversation, all right? But he's not addressing, the details of the team meeting leaked the following day. Maxey, whom Embiid considers one of his best friends, confronted Embiid about being late for team events and dragging the morale of the group down. Embiid told a reporter, Whoever leaked that is a real piece of S. Embiid didn't tell a reporter, you know what, they were right. I was shirking my responsibilities. But whoever leaked it is a real piece of S.
But again, what was the question that led up to it? If they're asking about that getting out there, and his response was that, like, that's how he feels about it. That's how he feels genuinely in that moment. And the fact that now we're having this reporter ask him again about how he feels about it, I don't think he's going to go back and say, you know.
Nowhere in this story, when they talk about that, does Embiid address why they called the team meeting in the first place. Now, I don't know why the guy didn't ask him the question or not. But again, the first instinct he has is the leak and how he can't trust anybody anymore. Well, they didn't trust you. They didn't trust you. That's why they had the team meeting in the first place.
But trust is a key theme throughout this entire story. Like, I think you're exploring a theme of the story there with the way he feels about that team meeting.
All right, well, this is what hit me. Sorry, it's what hit me. Take some personal responsibility. I think he lacks taking personal responsibility a lot of the time. All right, let's go to Danny in Bucks County. Danny, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Danny?
Hey, man. First time I'm talking to you.
Thank you, buddy.
Since Philmont Country Club.
Oh, Philmont Country.
Back in the day.
Oh, okay. I got you.
We used to talk about the Flyers, man.
Okay, I remember.
Golfing.
Philmont's a good track.
Yeah. Barkley was there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, anyway, I love Embiid, Mike. He's a beast, bro. It's the injuries I think just took its toll on him.
But no question. But again, we're talking about maybe preventive maintenance, getting in better shape may have lessened those injuries. No?
Yeah, but see, I'm more on about what happens on the court, and the guy was just devastating, man, and those injuries really hurt him.
Yeah, but we're talking about the cause and effect.
years.
There's a reason for the injuries, is there not, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, he could have he maybe could have taken better care of himself, in
That's
those
his
first couple years.
responsibility to take better care of himself. Is it not?
Well, he should have a personal physical therapist.
He does. He
medical
does. The
people.
Sixers got him that. He did have the personal therapist. The story points it out.
Mike, when he was playing and he was at the top of his game, he was the best in the league.
I get that. Yeah, and there's no denying that. He was a great player.
Yeah,
but you can continue being a great player by doing the right things. And I don't believe he's done all the right things.
Probably not, but he's only human, Mike.
He's only human. You only have a certain amount of years to be a star in the league, to win a championship. He's only human? You take advantage of the human part of your career.
Look, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are the Sixers your favorite team?
Probably.
In Philly?
Probably.
Okay, that's what I thought, because mine's the Flyers. I don't care about the Eagles, the Phillies,
Yeah, why don't you care about the Eagles or Phillies?
I'm just not a really big sports fan of baseball, actually. I really don't even bother with baseball.
Uh-huh.
Eagles,
yeah.
It's because I really don't care about. I'm 60 now, and it just doesn't mean that much to me like it used to. I guess. I care about.
Well, that's very interesting. The two top sports that most people follow, you're not into. I never really heard that, but all right.
Hey, we are the perfect station for you. Sixers, Flyers.
To each his own. The Phillies, the Eagles, most people are on board with, and he's not.
Anti-baseball.
What's he do during football season? What's he do during the summer?
I guess relax. You know how we talk about enjoying a ball game? He might actually just enjoy life.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Like, why would you not? Well, what hardship would it be for you to be into the Phillies and the Eagles? Is that a hardship?
You seemed anti-baseball there.
It seemed anti-baseball.
That kind of hurt. I'm kind of...
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't like baseball. It's too slow, Mike.
The last 2 days
It's too slow.
have been hell for me without baseball.
Yeah, I know. 610-632-097. We'll get back to the baseball talk. Stuff Jason Stark told us yesterday on what the Phillies may do or may not do as we get the trading deadline coming up shortly. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Ricky Bo.
97.5, The Fanatic. 610-632-0975. Phil's back at it tonight versus the Angels. 6:45 start. The Angels 47-49, still in the playoff race. Mike Trout back in town. Let me look at the line here. Luzardo against undecided. And Ray, let me tell you something. Undecided gets no respect from the people in Vegas.
Absolutely none.
Minus 205, you're fighting Phil's tonight.
I got undecided for 6 shutout.
Do you? You think this is going to be a shocker? That the Phillies aren't going to know it's like a bullpen game for the Angels?
No, they're going to take care of business.
They will?
2 or 3 this weekend.
So
Mike.
would you bet $10,000 on the money line at minus 205?
If I had $10,000, I'd be running somewhere right now.
What I'm saying is that a shoebox bet where you can't lose?
Oh, no.
No?
Not a shoebox bet.
Not a shoebox bet.
No. They've been off for a couple days.
You never know about Luzardo also.
Yeah. No, I'm all right. I'll save my shoebox bet for another day.
Okay. Back to the text board. What do you got?
We got Scott in Quakertown here. Embiid saying he's not going to any other team meeting shows his guilt. He wants to deflect. If not, he would have gone strictly to the person who leaked.
I'm not going to any more team meetings now. There was a leak. I'm doing it in special baby voice, but that's what it sounds like to me. Like, come on, man.
Mike and Ambler text again. This Joel situation is...
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Any excuse to play that drop.
It's not good. That's for sure. Back to the phones. Mark in Lansdale. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mark.
Mr. Michael, good afternoon.
What's going on, Marky? How you doing?
Not bad. Just wanted to talk about some Phils, my kind of preference. And, this is it. We're all on the same page here. I feel Dombrowski's got to go big, yes?
I think he does. He needs to add 2 players that will help them. Now, we're going to play a soundbite from Jason Stark where he's saying maybe not. Maybe they don't have to because everybody still fears the Phillies.
All right, so 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about getting a reliever, late bullpen guy.
Is this let's fake a deal? This another let's fake a deal?
Well, here I'm going to bring up a third piece,
okay.
Kind of a part 2, because, in my opinion, I think they need 2 relievers. They need 2 back-end guys. Is that really a reach? I don't think so. With Strom and Kerkering, they're late inning guys, but they're certainly not 8th and 9th inning guys. Mm-hmm. Optimally, they're 6th and 7th inning guys.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of bringing in this Class A and Quan guy. I like
that deal. I like that deal too.
Yeah, he really brings a different dynamic to the lineup. You're obviously not getting power from this kid, but he can get on base.
Yes,
He's got
he can.
Speed. Class A is going to be. I think Class A can come in and be a closer. But here's a guy I want to ask about that I really haven't heard anything about. That might not require too much, or maybe he's unavailable. I don't know, but Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, a likely name. A likely name. It is possible that they would grab him.
Yeah, and I mean, this is he's with us till the end of the year. It's a contract year. He's obviously he's no young buck, but he's having a great year, and he's got. I feel like he still has that it factor.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll cost you.
Guy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll cost you either. You need a left-handed hammer because you're not going to have Alvarado in the playoffs.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I agree. I'm on board with you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, man. You got it,
Thanks,
Marky.
Mike.
All right. Let's hear from Jason. When I talked about the Phillies needing something, he was saying the people around the league may not think they need anything. I don't know if I go that far, but I guess it's Stark 5, Ray?
When the Phillies are in first place at the break, they almost always win. Not like it happens every year around here, but they're actually in good position, despite what you might think. And other teams look at them as a team they don't want to play. I had a GM, one team say to me, we want no parts of them. They're the one team we've played all year where when we finished, we said they have a better starting pitcher than us every single game. You don't feel like you're going to win. But he also said they've got to fix their bullpen.
So what is it? are they set or are they not? All of a sudden, that one came in at the end. Yeah, but they need to fix their bullpen. So, in their current form, are they good enough? That's the impression I got early on in that quote. But then in the end, well, they got to fix their bullpen.
They can be as complimentary as they want about this baseball team, and when you look at all the tier lists, everyone's doing their rankings, or where should they be, where should they fall? They're one of the top 5 teams in baseball, top 5 or 6. They're in that contention window. You could be as complimentary as you want about that. Rotation's great. They got names on the lineup. If they don't address this bullpen, we'll see you next year in March. Like I don't think you're going anywhere without upgrading this bullpen.
So the accolades about the starting pitching that frighten everybody in the league, at the end of the day, have kind of a shelf life.
Yeah. Like I even think go back to 2022. Like they were basically a 2-3 man bullpen when it came to what mattered, and you were able to ride that to a point.
Yep.
Like I think that you can ride it to a point. I don't think you're able to ride this bullpen past like the CS at best. Like I think that's like the ceiling of a team with a bullpen that leaves this much to be desired.
Yeah.
You have 2 arms that you like in that bullpen right now, and even that. That caller says they're 6th and 7th inning guys. That doesn't give you a lot of encouragement to where they're at right now. So to me, they have to fix bullpen. You can't, as is, I can't make an argument that this team's a World Series winner.
Okay.
Or even a World Series participant.
All right. That's the team they don't want to play, though, around the league because of the starting pitching.
Yeah, unless Wheeler's giving you 9.
Let's go to the HR Godfather. What's up, Godfather from Washington Township?
Hey, Michael, I heard the Jason Stark cut 5, but I also heard the news that you guys gave where you talked about our general manager, president, whatever his title is, wanting to really go big.
Yeah.
If you're going to go really big, I think the reliever has to be Mason Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that he is the stereotypical closer in my mind. Now, in reading what his local newspaper is saying, his team's newspaper, they're looking for pitching, and they wouldn't mind getting an infielder, specifically a second baseman. So I know that if we're going to go big, we got to give up talent. I'm willing to give up either Nick Abel or Jesus Luzardo, whichever of them it takes. And then you fill in the blank in terms of another prospect that you're willing to give up. How do you feel about getting Miller? Is he doable? And if so, how much would it take?
Yeah, it would take two major prospects. And I don't know if Abel would be enough. I think it would cost them their 2 prospects.
Well, how about Luzardo?
Now, Luzardo is an established starting pitcher. Now, he makes some money, and Oakland is not that type where they would go. He actually was Oakland property at one point. I don't think they would have interest in Luzardo. They'd rather go young and prospects.
And would Abel plus more get him?
I don't.
Would Abel?
I don't know if Abel and Justin Crawford, would that be enough to get Mason Miller? I don't believe it would be. Actually, I think you would have to give up both prospects. I think you would have to give up Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford for him.
And Abel.
Yeah. Well, maybe not Abel, but Abel and Justin Crawford definitely would get their attention. I don't know if they would pull the trigger on that, though. Because I don't know about Abel. Is he
your first choice in terms of...
Mason Miller? Mason Miller would be great, but I would also like Clase and Stephen Kwan if you can make that deal with the Guardians.
How about in left field? We got a team in town right now that has a couple of outfielders.
Yeah.
One who's having a really good year, even though he's 34.
Talking about Ward.
And they also have, yeah.
Ward doesn't do much for me. Yeah, there's the Randall Grishicks, the Wards. They're out there, but I don't know if they do that much for me. All right, HR. Appreciate the call. 610-632-0975. Coming up in 10 minutes, the news at noon. More of your calls, more of your texts, more Phillies chat as they get back at it tonight. It's been a long time since we've seen baseball, damn it. We're glad to be getting it back tonight. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The All-Star break has finally come to a close. The Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo getting the start for the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday here on the Mike Missanelli Show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full conversation with Jason Stark on our website, 975thefanatic.com. Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight against the Nets at 6 o'clock to wrap up their slate in Vegas. In Texas this weekend, the Union on the road to face Houston Saturday night at 8:30. You can hear the live call of that game right here on The Fanatic. And training camp gets going next week for the Eagles. Players report on Tuesday. First practice is Wednesday. This update's also brought to you by Payday. Packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel, Payday is one hard-working candy bar. So grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Butter Caramel Bar. Get to it. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
97.5 Fanatic. Just looking at text tweets that come to my personal Twitter X account. It's just Mike Miss 25. That's in honor of the late great Ben Simmons, by the way. David Lopez checks in with this, right? You're loud and wrong. The team meeting was called because they were 3-13. There were a bunch of things brought up, including coaching. And on top of that, Maxey took it to heart what Maxey said, and Embiid took it to heart what Maxey said to him. So at least get your facts straight before you yell. Well, the bottom line is there may have been other things that were talked about in the meeting, but one of the major things was that Maxey had called out Embiid. Get my facts straight before I yell? I mean, what, that's not enough for you? That doesn't mean anything to you? Maxey calling out Embiid saying you're not doing the right things?
But it was one of the major things that was reported because whoever leaked the information from the meeting clearly made that a point to tell someone that Embiid was called out in that meeting. Nobody cares if they're not figuring out the dribble handoffs that Nurse is trying to coach them. They care that Embiid's practice habits are being called out.
Yeah.
So Embiid sitting there in that meeting probably took in the dozen other things, but the one thing that got out there and became a big story out of that meeting was Embiid.
Yes, and that itself, whether it got out or not, is a major thing. Here's another tweet. Stay ya hoe ass off the radio. Thanks, buddy. Now, tell me, is that block worthy?
Yeah, probably.
Stay your hoe ass off the radio. Now, what do you think you're going to get for that? You're going to get blocked. That's a block.
Is this the sound of you blocking?
That's the sound of me blocking. It's silent, but it's the sound of me blocking. All right, here it is. You're such an old sack of bleep. Can't wait for the day you're dead.
My God.
And Embiid is still in the league.
Jesus.
This is the kind of time this is the stuff you get. Idiots like this. So, well, come on, man. That's this guy, Matty Shots 11. Matty Shots 11, you just got shot. Block. Boom, you're out. This is fun.
Deep breaths, people.
Love blocking people. All right. Here's one. Eat a D, bleep wad.
My goodness.
Pride of Bridget, that is. Let's see the profile. No profile. Yeah, figures. An anonymous coward. All right, that's block. I can make this a segment.
What someone said to Mike to get the block?
Yes. Anyway, Jeff says, let's have a pity parade for how hard Joel's life is. He's not the only athlete to have knee problems, but he's certainly at the top of the list for using an excuse to mope. Well, that's a little harsh. If that's not bad enough, Morey added another perennial handicapped bum for the low, 200 million plus. Oh, that's a little harsh. Not a bum. Embiid's never been a bum. He's been a great player here. This story, I'm just merely commenting on this story, which to me is just another example of sometimes he goes into the woe is me. That's all. It's 12 o'clock. It's noontime. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to 97.5, The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Here's the news at noon with Ray Dunn. Starting off with the swing-off rule that is sweeping America. Could we see it in the future decide Major League Baseball games, and would people like it? Ray, what do you got?
Brandon came into my studio yesterday. I got a video of me talking about the fact that I wouldn't want to see it end regular season games, and then I just start scrolling the little Bird app, and of course, they heard me talk about it, and I get fed a video from Part of the Interruption that makes me maybe want to change my opinion on that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let me just start by saying I'm okay with you ending an exhibition game this way. It's okay with me to have a swing off The All-Star Game is a television show. This was good television. This may have even been great television. And I don't want to sit here, Mike, and say, because it's a game that doesn't count in the standings, I don't want to make it into Game 7 of the World Series. Just don't tell me that we're going to end every extra inning game this way in the regular season. Don't tell me that. It's taken me a year and a half to adjust to the Ghost Runner, and I think it's okay. But I think, Mike, if given the option, I think players would vote for this. I do.
I don't know. I don't know if players would vote for that. At the end of the players still want to be involved in the result. It's like you're eliminating guys to be involved in the result. At least if you go with the Ghost Runner and you go extra innings, however long that takes. And that's going to certainly take less time than just doing the regular way they used to do it. I agree with Tony Kornheiser in that I don't want to see this decide regular season games. I am perfectly fine with the Ghost Runner. I think it's actually been a really innovative part of baseball. I like it because it brings in a ton of strategy.
I agree with him. I just didn't want to hear my entire logic be the same thing Kornheiser was saying.
You're not a Kornheiser guy?
No, I just feel like it's not that I'm not a Kornheiser guy. It's just like I heard him saying it, and I was like, oh, man. Am I really having the modern day take on this one, or am I having
the ancient take?
It feels a little because the way he sounds, but I'm just getting used to the whole Ghost Runner thing.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I said when I was.
He's a traditionalist. I had people saying to me, "You're an old school guy. How you like that? Right?" I go, "I love it. It's fantastic. Stick a guy on second base, put pressure on the pitcher, put pressure on the hitter to try to move him over." It's great.
Yeah, of the two of us, I'm the more old school with the rule because I would want the 12th inning.
I think it creates strategy. I like more strategy in baseball. That creates strategy, the Ghost Runner.
I think the swing off could be a real interesting divide amongst players because I'd see relievers potentially being against it for the fact that they would lose out on work.
Yeah.
And I could
lose out on pressure too, though. Yeah, there'd be no pressure for them.
I could also see hitters being like, yeah, absolutely, this raises my value. If I'm a home run hitter, I want this rule implemented yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know how it breaks them up.
We got podcast I never play because it's a groin or a knee. P. Go ahead.
Yep, we do. This is before the news, I believe, drops about the knee.
Before the news of the surgery.
Yes.
Paul George.
Baron Davis on this week to talk about the 2002 All-Star Game, his first, and getting to see MJ and AI up close, his takeaways from that game.
MJ was happy as hell. He talking to everybody, he talking to everybody. And I was like, hey, man, let me get them shoes. He was like, no. I was like, can you sign? He was like, no. I was like, oh, you joking. I'll be back at halftime. Yeah. I'm like, homie, I'm going to need you to sign these shoes. He was like, no. Waited to the end of the game. You got to sign the jerseys and all that. I swiped me one right in there. Hey, I come through with the, he at home. Yeah. Hey, I come with the bucket.
Yeah. Was he able to wear his jerseys then?
He had the jersey, the sweatsuit. He had chains, like cubic link chains. The chains was this big with the diamonds. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, I'm a small fry here. I gotta get my weight up, boy.
The two things for you there.
Yeah.
The triple denial by Michael Jordan for signing the shoes. Yeah. All-time brutal for a guy that, is in the All-Star game.
Well, did he say, can I get your shoes?
And then he has to just have the signature a couple times and he gets denied. And 2002 AI home All-Star game, what do you remember most about that All-Star game?
That they booed Kobe?
Is that what you remember? Like, I'm asking you genuinely. Like, as someone that was very much in the scene and around all of it, what was the thing that stuck out to you the most?
They booed Kobe. Yeah, that's what stuck out to me. Why? What stuck out to you?
I didn't know if there was anything more from that weekend. Like, if we have a treasure trove of Mike Missanelli stories of things that happened. That
led to my argument with Michael Wilbon.
Oh, after he called, wow, that's ironic that it ends up.
That's the connection. I was at the All-Star game, and they booed Kobe Bryant, and then he comes out with a story ripping into Philadelphia fans for booing Kobe Bryant. And I go, and we had him on the air. I go, dude, you don't even know why they did it. Why don't you do some investigative work? Why don't you talk to some Philadelphia area journalists to get an idea on why that would happen? Well, I don't have to talk to anybody. When I write a story, I don't have to talk to Philadelphia journalists, he said to me. And we got into that story argument.
Wow, the irony of PTI and then that clip leading into the 2002 All-Star game.
Well, I guess you were just born that year, right?
This was more of a trying to get into the brain of Mike Missanelli. What sticks out from that All-Star game?
That's what stuck out to me. I mean, it was a typical All-Star game. I had fun watching it. I was at courtside watching it. But the booing of Kobe Bryant was the big thing that year.
All right, last one for you here. Another player-led podcast here. We're going to Carmelo Anthony's podcast. He had Tracy McGrady on. And they have, I guess, what they call the Nasty Jersey Hall of Fame, which is the jersey that just doesn't look right on a player. Tracy McGrady talked about a couple of his jerseys. Well, they kind of roasted him for it. And it'll lead to a bigger question I want to ask you.
We have 2 Hall of Famers, but we have 2 Atlanta Hawks legends.
Well, I know you trolling me right now, but
welcome to the Nasty Jersey Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm in there. You in there too?
Okay, I didn't know where this was going. My bad. I got you.
I said the Detroit Mac jersey was nasty.
Me and AI in the Detroit, it
just feels wrong, man.
The Hawks look a little bit better.
Still got the vein though. See the vein.
The Spurs Mac was nasty too.
Would the Knicks Mac make it? It's a Knick jersey.
It wasn't T-Mac. That was Tracy in the jersey, though.
What is this nasty jersey? Does it mean it's a nasty design of the jersey, or is it funky? Or
end
what?
of your career stops you make that don't look right. Like, you will not remember T-Mac as a Detroit Piston.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You will not remember him as a Knick.
AI Memphis.
Memphis, exactly.
Yeah, AI Memphis is a nasty jersey.
I'm curious for people the nastiest jersey they can think of with relating to Philadelphia sports.
That's a fun question. You know, when I first saw this category, a nasty jersey, I said anything George Niang is in looks like a nasty jersey. Isn't it the truth? Any jersey that George Niang is in looks nasty.
Jeez.
It does. Come on, man.
Niang just enjoying his day somewhere.
The dude is like the sloppiest looking dude in the NBA, and he still has a job.
You know what? Good for him. He ended up in the same conversation.
He gets a nickname, and he gets glory. Bang, bang, the minivan. Come on, man. He's not call-out worthy.
He's the second star next to Jaylen Brown this year.
Now he's going to have a nasty jersey, a Celtic jersey. A white dude in a Celtics jersey looks nasty from the jump, much less it's Niang. Mike Missanelli Show continues. I'm 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia Union.
Mike Missanelli Show. Let me get back to my text board. I know I got some support on our text board. My text board. Here we go. This is from Braden Philly Sports. And he writes, genuinely, why would anyone want to play here? Opening up about mental health issues and being treated like this by the local media is exactly why Philly has a bad reputation. What, dude? What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about? Opening up about mental health issues. He barely touched the surface of that. It wasn't the story about him opening up the mental health issues and being treated how by the local media? By questioning some of the things that he also does? You know what? You get a block too. How's that? Bam, you're out. That's block worthy for me.
We're going to climb over
Stupidity.
11,000.
That's a stupidity block. All right, what do we have? With support of me? I love to hear support of me. What do we got?
Yeah, we got some support of you here on the text line. For every one idiot that text tweets you something like that, you have 10 that love to listen to you. You're a legend in this city, Mike. You missed the reason I listen to sports talk. You might be wrong at times, but no other talk show host comes close.
I am never, ever wrong. But for every one that rips me 10, well, I wish I would get the 10 love support. I never get the love tweets.
Mike, you miss, you old man. I wish you would just go away. You're making me cry. Yours truly, Joel Embiid. Just kidding. You're the best.
Well, I won't be long. I won't be long. There'll be a day very shortly where you won't have me to kick around anymore, Ray.
Stop it. Stop it.
Very, very shortly.
Stop it.
Anyway. What else do we have on the text board today of substance?
We're getting some the nasty jersey submissions here for people of the jersey that just doesn't look right. And one that's popped up already a number of times in the YouTube chat and over the text board, Brian Dawkins in a Broncos jersey.
Yeah. Oh, God. That was one that makes you cringe. That makes you cringe. The whole circumstance of that whole thing. Oh, you're right.
A few more here that we've gotten multiple times. Jimmy Rollins in a White Sox jersey.
Well, I hardly remember that. Wait, he went to the White Sox at the end of his career? Wait, after the Dodgers?
Mm-hmm. It looked ugly.
Oh, God.
It did not look good. Which brings me to one that I always think of. Ryan Howard's minor league stint with the Gwinnett Braves. And their branding is just the Braves. And you got the Braves across the chest of Ryan Howard. That looked ugly.
When he was trying to make a comeback?
Yeah. That to me is a nasty jersey.
That is. That's a nasty jersey. I love the way this guy. It's called a nasty jersey.
I love it. I'm going to continue with it here.
I thought they meant it literally.
Yeah. All right. Trying to find some in the YouTube. Harold Carmichael in a Cowboys jersey.
I don't remember that either. He went to the Cowboys? That's a pretty good recall.
We got Patrick Ewing in a Magic jersey.
I must have shut all this stuff out because it was too blinding.
And it was also probably way late in their career to the point where you McNabb in a Vikings jersey.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. McNabb in a Washington jersey wasn't, though. That wasn't a nasty jersey, was it?
Yeah, nasty to think about now.
Yeah, that was like the first trade, though.
Right.
You know, we were ready to move on from him.
Westbrook in a 49ers jersey.
Brian. Oh, yeah. Well, Brian will tell you that was a nasty jersey. He didn't appreciate his time in San Fran. Well, he got a paycheck out of it.
Yeah.
Which was important.
That's nice.
He stick around for the extra paycheck.
Pat Burrell in a Giants jersey.
Yeah.
He won a World Series there.
Yeah, he did. That's not his mind. And he's got a big job with him now. So.
Yeah. Shaq in the Celtics jersey wearing number 36.
Pretty good. Shaq in the Celtics jersey. Jesus.
My own personal submission to this one is Dwayne Wade in a Cavaliers jersey. That never looked right.
Yeah.
Never felt right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
The Chicago one, I give a little bit of pass because he's a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
The Cleveland one was bad from the
How
start.
about Darren Dalton in a Miami Marlins?
Ooh.
Jersey? Is that a nasty jersey? He helped them considerably.
Yeah. Guess he had
and
to
I
help
don't
him
know
out.
why we were ready to move on from Dutch at that point. I don't remember the circumstances of why he was traded. He was pretty much done here. Who took over for Darren Dalton? A catcher. That they moved him on.
1990 was Lieberthal?
Lieberthal? Maybe it was Lieberthal because he would have been their number one pick.
I was going to, let me roll down here. I think Lieberthal would have been at that point. Well, of course, I can't find it.
Yeah, it probably was. Probably was Lieby.
Yeah, that one makes the most sense to me at the time.
All right, let's go back to the phones because Uncle Frank is checking in. Our pal Uncle Frank from Westchester. What's up, Uncle Frank? Uh-oh, I can't get him up. Something wrong. Something wrong with us. Uh-oh. I got all kinds of X's there. Here we go. Uncle Frank, what's up?
Hey, happy Friday to all.
Happy Friday to you.
Thank you. Mike, first thing, I implore you, more Mad Dog. You had me in tears yesterday. Good look.
I can only do it for a certain amount of time before my
yeah, I understand why. I picture your veins popping out of your forehead.
My throat explodes most of the time.
Good show yesterday. I couldn't call in, but how about my man Ish? That Chris Mullins boy, he can really bang threes in his day.
This is where you go with Ish. Is he trying to put you on, or is he that weird? You know, I can never figure out about Ish whether he's a put on and whether he does that on purpose or whether it's just him.
Yeah, seems like a nice young man. I know.
Yeah, he seems like a nice man. I don't know if he's smarter than all of us or he's just goofy.
A little atypical.
Yeah.
Hey, also, I got some meandering thoughts. Let me get out.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't like Ish with Ray either. But
I'm going to put a stop to that. It's no longer funny.
Thank you, Uncle
Frank.
I know you loved it.
Is Ray there? I'll go, yeah. See ya. Bye. Yeah, he's here.
I know this is one of your favorite movies because last night I watched, obviously one of the Godfathers, written by Tarantino.
Which one?
True Romance.
True Romance is one of the classics. I love it.
It is, that cast, it's unbelievable.
It's like a roller coaster ride, that movie.
Really is. It just, you stay with it. Yep. So, at Bill's Club, there's lightning in the area. They don't sound a horn or a siren to alert the members. Nope. I'm told it. Go ahead.
No, what'd you say? What was that?
At Bill's Club, if there's lightning in the area, they sound a horn or a siren to alert the members. I'm told it's a shotgun blast. Come on, Ray. Come on. All right. So, bad things happen in Philly. It's just like a malaise has just settled over our Sixers.
Yeah.
Paul George gets scoped and no one blinks. And it's like Groundhog Day with these two. JoJo isn't who we thought he was. He gets by on his incredible athleticism, but I don't know, if I could transplant his heart with Giannis, I'd be all for it. And I think, lastly, the malaise starts at the top because the GM, there's no way in hell he should still be here.
Yeah, wow. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it plays out, brother.
All right,
How about this line from True Romance? Hey, Captain, I don't care if you get 10 Roman gladiators and goes to see McQueen. We just want the collar.
Very good.
All right, man.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks.
See you later. 10 Roman gladiators. Goes to Steve McQueen. Seen True Romance yet?
Nope.
Listen, I know you don't want to sit through The Godfather, blah, blah. You will love the action of True Romance. You'll love it. All right?
Okay.
So please, do us a favor. Watch it. Set aside 2 hours that normally you would reserve for sips and watch a freaking movie.
God forbid I go out and see people.
You do it every night.
Now that's
Stay
not
home
true.
one night and watch a movie.
I stayed home Tuesday night. I stayed home
632
Monday night.
0975.
I don't think I stayed Monday night.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The All-Star break has finally come to a close, and the Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo will start with the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday on the Mike Missanelli Show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's trade deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full conversation with Jason Stark on our website, 975thefanatic.com. Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight against the Nets at 6 o'clock to wrap up their slate in Vegas. In Houston this weekend, the Union faced the Dynamo at 8:30 on Saturday. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And training camp gets going next week for the Eagles. Tuesday, the players report, and Wednesday is the first practice. This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole new floor inside your Macy's, and right now you'll find the latest summer styles all for under $25. With new arrivals every day, you never know what amazing deals you'll find. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Parts of this Embiid story is where the author introduces a woman named Kim Gaspari, an experienced physical therapist, who became a key member of the Embiid group. She began as a consultant, but she became a steadying force, the story says, for Embiid, so much so that the Sixers hired her full-time in 2019 as a physical therapist. Her initial stint was supposed to last 4 weeks, but she went on to work with Embiid for 9 years. By the time Embiid met Gaspari, his reputation for flaking was well established. But Gaspari said there was never a problem between them. Never once did Joel not show up when we said we were going to. But I've seen over 9 years that he didn't show up for many people. That's somebody in this camp. Now, is that about personal responsibility? Ray?
Yeah.
Is that about personal responsibility? He didn't show up for others. Meaning, he didn't do all that was needed to do.
Again, as we peel the onion back on Embiid here, this goes into who in the organization he trusts, who in the organization he values. And I don't want to say that it's not a character flaw for you to not show up for all these people that you don't trust, because obviously as the face of the organization, when you're making that much money and you are someone that needs to lead by example for this organization, you should be showing up for all these people. But going into this story, I think it explains to you why he hasn't shown up for some of these people, why he doesn't believe that this person does have the best interest. Is this person trying to report back to an organization I don't trust? Is this person trying to, like, the money thing that he puts out there in his apartment is very clearly the fact that he's suspicious of the people that work around him and the people that are employed by the team.
But these are guys that they hired who were his confidants. This guy, Martin, this Australian dude, right? Mm-hmm. He said nobody believed in Joel. They just weren't into him, blah, 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 blah. He decided to go to Hinkie and owner Josh Harrison and ask Embiid to take Embiid out of the country to Espetar, an orthopedic and sports medicine hospital in Qatar. After some resistance, the team relented. So they said, all right, yeah, we'll try everything. Desperate to make the trip count, Martin scheduled a series of appointments with experts. Embiid often missed those meetings. When Martin asked him what was wrong, Embiid explained he wanted to stay on an NBA schedule. Games are played in the evening. Players go to bed late and wake up late. He missed the meeting. He missed them. This is what I mean. Personal responsibility. This guy was his confidant. Takes him to Qatar.
Yeah.
Missed meeting, missed appointments with experts.
I got you. Like, I understand what you're saying about him. This is not a story that just absolves Embiid of blame. Anyone that thinks that's the case, I think, didn't read it with the agenda of I just want something from Embiid. And I think anyone that thinks that this story is solely putting everything on Embiid also is reading this with the eyes of Embiid's a flawed guy. Like, I understand.
But you can't blame when you're a flawed guy, blaming other people, always saying, woe is me. What does that do for you?
But part of this story is why he feels that way. Part of this story is why the mentality is that way for him. He's a guy that's looking for answers in his life, and this is spelled out for you over 10,000, 13,000 words.
Why you feel that way absolves you from being the best you can be physically? Because that's what this story is painting out. He did not embrace the physical part to get himself in the best possible physical condition. It clearly states this. He was tardy to these little things. They set up things for him. He missed it.
You do realize they took him out of the country because he had felt like the environment inside that organization got so toxic against Embiid that he was taking him somewhere else.
But once he's out of the country, he was still missing stuff.
He was, but he was still in that mindset of what is this organization doing for me health-wise, where he had just won the battle of, yeah, my foot was messed up. These people were trying to run me back onto the floor before I was ready to go.
Okay, so they relented and said, yeah, okay, take him to this place and see what they say. Take him to this place, see what they say. He misses meetings.
I understand. And they adjusted it for what makes sense for an NBA player.
A pattern had emerged, the story says. Those loyal to Embiid, invested in his future, became an organization within 76ers organization. Embiid's allies saw him as wounded and gifted and alone and needed reinforcing. That's at Martin and that's at Gaspari. They flattered his proclivities because Martin tried to start reading in depth about working with gifted children. They flattered his proclivities to get the most out of him they could. Gaspari is quoted as saying, I probably just should have been like, get your ass off the table and get on the floor. But I didn't do that because he would have maybe gotten off the table and walked into the locker room and done nothing. So I couldn't risk that. Well, who are they dealing with here? They're dealing with a guy they're afraid to actually put forth some rules?
Is Embiid the only guy across the NBA like this?
We're not talking about other people. We're talking about this guy who's important to this franchise. If we were talking about somebody else, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, but like this is so much of what I feel like this is where the NBA's at, though. Like there are just guys.
The people that dare to be great don't do this. They just don't, Ray. People that dare to be great, the Kobe's, the Jordans, they don't do this kind of stuff.
So to play every bit of what's in this story, when the physical therapist talks about working with him 355 out of 365 days a year, do we give any credence to the idea that he was working on himself 355 days a year?
Listen, I hope he was. I hope he was. But I read these things and it's like, oh, you can't say a certain thing to him because he'll quit. You can't do this because he, in a lot of ways, has been an immature baby about stuff.
And in a lot of ways, this organization has given him a reason to feel the ways that he does.
Okay, all right. Like, I'm not high on the Sixers organization right now, but I'm not seeing that part of it as much as I'm seeing the Embiid personal responsibility. Let's go back to the phones. We'll talk to Norman from Northeast Philly. Norm, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Norman, I can't punch him up again. Yeah, we got a little phone situation here. So then it goes all X's, and then I can pull him out again. You reset it? Norman, are you with us?
Yeah.
There he is. What's up, Norm?
Hey, I don't think this is hard to figure out. I know you played baseball. I know you played basketball. But if you ever coach these sports, you know, number one, a great player needs a passion for their sport. Number two, they need a great work ethic for getting better. Embiid had it a long time ago because he made himself a great basketball talent. But basketball might not be a priority for him anymore. He's going to play, well, do you think he'll play 60 games this year?
Hell no.
Okay, so if he played 60 games total, that's $1 million per game. So it's a priority for the 76ers. So I'm not big with their team. You know, when they started to lose on purpose many years ago, which you think the process worked.
Yeah, I actually like
me being a season ticket holder.
Yeah, I can
me
see
being
that.
a season ticket holder, it did not work.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, it cost me a lot of money to watch a team lose on purpose.
Mm-hmm. I get you. All right, so you're saying that he doesn't have the passion or the work ethic now, but he once had it. And I can buy that. I don't think he has it anymore. I don't think it's a priority for him. I get that read as well.
And I think it stopped. Let's go back. The sixth game of the Boston series, the last 2 minutes of the game, he never went in front of the three-point line on offense. One offensive rebound in those 2 minutes wins us the sixth game. No seventh game. So I think he lost his passion a long time ago.
I agree. That's why they're in trouble, because they still keep basing their success on these two-headed monsters of two guys that don't want to play anymore.
Yes, Paul George included.
Yep, that's who I'm talking about. Norm, thank you. Good to hear from Norm. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. On the other side, I'm going to play a quote about Dave Dombrowski rearing up to make a big, big, big splash. Oof. I hope that's correct. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
ESP.
To you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months. Rebates, tax credits, up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the story that has been just crazy on social media. It's this story about the Coldplay concert having a kiss cam and catching a guy having an affair with his HR head. The guy's the CEO. I forget the company, but they're at the Coldplay concert. Where was this concert, Ray?
I don't know where the concert was. I know it was Astronomer or whatever was the company. Astronomer.
All right, so it was a U.S. concert. Coldplay?
Yes.
All right, so the kiss cam. And Chris Martin, I think, is narrating the kiss cam. It's going around, right?
Boston concert.
Boston.
Yes.
And so the kiss cam centers on this. The guy's one of those concert rappers. You know what I mean by you wrap yourself around the girl and you sway.
Yeah, a little sway.
You do a little sway.
Yeah.
And, I've never been a concert rapper, but I've seen a lot of concert rappers that nauseate me, frankly.
Oh, you're an anti-concert
I'm an
rapper.
anti-concert rapper. So he raps her and he's swaying with her, and the kiss cam centers on them. And they see it, and they go, "Oh no, we're having an illicit affair," and they make a beeline to get out of the camera frame. My God,
it's not new perspective here, but come on.
Now the woman apparently is divorced. The guy is happily married. Well, I don't know how happily married he is, but he is married, and I'm not so sure after that Coldplay concert. So it'll go down in history as the divorce that was caused by Coldplay.
You think it's the first?
Why not? I guess not. I'm anti-kiss cam anyway. I don't understand the kiss cam situation. You go at the ballpark. Suppose you see a brother and sister are there, right? And the kiss cam centers on them, and they're not going to kiss each other, and then they get booed for not kissing each other. The kiss cam is a dangerous thing.
No, I could do without. I'm just thinking in that scenario, you are at a public, you're at a concert. At some point, they're going to cut to the crowd, I feel like, just in general.
Yeah.
You should know. It seems like I got decent seats. He's got CEO seats. He's got,
Right. But here's the thing. Your reaction is what causes the problem.
Oh, for sure.
Unless the wife sees that, I mean, what are the chances that she's going to see that? She's not going to see that unless she's at the concert. She's not going to see it. So just, bite the bullet. And at the end of the night, nothing happens. But when you had that reaction, and then he said, Chris Martin said, it looks like something we uncovered there.
Yeah, they're having an affair or very shy.
Right,
and immediately, once someone's got that on video, they're going to go figure out if they're having an affair.
Right. So if they do nothing happens. But because they ran for cover, it becomes a story.
Yeah, you just can't have that reaction. Not that,
You panicked. They choked.
I mean, you can understand the panic, though.
Well, you got to think your way through it. If I'm snagged on this, was that the first kiss camera shot? Or would they go to other kiss people?
I have only seen this video 1,000 times.
So if they went to them first, then you got to think quick. But if you have notice of the kiss cam, like the kiss cam's been all around with other shots of people, you go, oh, wait a minute. This is a kiss cam. We better not do this.
See, I don't know about
because
that.
the kiss cam guy is focused on the people who are doing the concert snuggling.
I have never assumed kiss cam, approach. I don't think I've ever been in the mindset, even when I'm at, a game.
Hold on, right? You're watching the big video screen at a concert.
Right.
Right? Previous kiss cam frames are shot up on there. Now, is that not enough notice for you to stop the snuggling?
But I don't think I ever assume it's coming to me. I don't think that's one of those operations where you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna get us.
You never know where the camera is.
Right.
The camera is the eye in the sky, man. They got telephoto lenses. You might not see that camera next to you, but it's like in another section.
But I'm just thinking from my perspective, okay, wow, look, they got those people. Oh, what's gonna happen? Wow, that's gonna. I don't think I've ever turned and saw the kiss cam being like, oh, that's coming for me, isn't it?
Listen, I'll give the guy one shot here. If there was no notice that they were doing a kiss cam at all, and he was the first frame with the woman, then he possibly couldn't think quickly enough. But if you have notice, you got to think.
But in that moment, okay, so you now realize you're on camera.
Yeah.
I still think
And
they
then
had
you
the
don't
wrong
panic.
reaction. Yeah, I think they had the wrong reaction.
I
there.
had total wrong reaction. That's why you got to think it through. If you're a CEO, you're used to making snap decisions, right? Well, here's the snap decision is, wait, if I run for cover here, I'm guilty.
Right.
Just bite the bullet and keep hugging.
Like, do you think about the people today that go into that company and, like, that head of HR has given them a speech on, like,
of course,
everything with human relations, and they're just like,
yes.
Like,
now, he won't get fired. He's the CEO. She'll get zipped as quickly as possible.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Oh, she's the HR. She's supposed to set the standard. She's out.
Yeah, but you can't, like, as a CEO, like, you're not going to have people that are looking up, like, yeah, this guy's got it right.
The board would have to fire him. The board would have to be involved.
The only
but
way.
the CEO goes, listen, I make the decisions around here.
Yeah, but can he get rid of her? Like, at this point, like, I feel like that's legal. Like, she knows, like, the HR violation's already happened. She's a part of it, but he's also a part of it. So him getting rid of her is also, like, feels like a gray area for what he can do. Like, I think both are gone.
Maybe.
I think a lot of boxes are being cleaned up right now and taken out of multiple offices there.
Being escorted out by the security.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a third person in that video that also works for that company and also works in HR.
Yeah.
So they're like, I feel like we got a big cover up here that's everyone's just going down.
Otherwise, how was the concert?
Yeah. Well, also, if you're that guy when you get home, is it like, hey, like, do you think, because this goes viral in the moments afterwards, like, are you just praying it doesn't go viral, or are you like, all right, wifey, we got to have a little conversation here about something that's going down? Like, are you going to get out in front of the storm?
You get ahead of the story. You probably have to.
Do you think he does, though?
No, I think he's a coward.
Yeah, you think he's just, he wakes up the next morning?
He ran for cover. He's a total coward.
He wakes up next morning with a phone in his face. Oh, you have fun last night?
Yeah.
You enjoyed that concert? Oh, really?
Yeah. I happen to be on social media.
Yeah. Coldplay was a good time, was it? Let's talk about that.
By the way, are you a Coldplaysman?
No.
You're not into Coldplay?
No. I mean, they got a couple songs that,
I
like,
put a
if it's
couple
on.
songs in the rack here.
Yeah, I think we do.
I don't think we played them yet.
Have we not?
I don't think so.
They're in here.
They're in there, but I don't think we played them. Clocks in Yellow I put in there.
Yeah, it's part of the rotator, so it should have played. Yeah.
I haven't heard it yet.
I think it was
You want to hit it?
I mean, we could come back with it for
All
sure.
right, let's come back with a little Coldplay. We got
in honor of the couple.
In honor of the couple. Will and Jim, you hang in there. We'll get to everybody. It's the Mike Missanelli Show continuing.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The All-Star break has finally come to a close. The Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo will start for the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday here on the Mike Missanelli Show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full interview with Stark on our website, 975thefanatic.com. Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight again against the Nets. That game at 6 o'clock is their final stop in Vegas before they wrap up Summer League action. In Houston this weekend, the Union face the Dynamo Saturday at 8:30. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And next week, training camp getting going for the Birds. Tuesday, the players show up. Wednesday is the first practice. This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
at the Kiss Cam around the arena. Oh, we stumbled across. Oh, something nasty's going on there.
What's the last concert you would want to be caught cheating at?
Well, I don't have any idea what kind of question is that.
Like the artist that you would feel most ashamed being at the concert and also having your life fall apart at that concert.
Probably some bubblegum band.
I thought you were going to give me a country.
No, not country. Some bubblegum pop group. That would kill me. Like that K-pop concert. How's that?
Not a big fan of the K-pop?
K-pop concert. I'd be embarrassed. Today was we missed it. They unveiled a new logo for the 2026 All-Star Game, which would be in Philly. Did you see that? They had a big ceremony.
Yes, I saw they were doing it.
Big ceremony in City Hall with Bryce Harper was there.
Nice.
Charlie Manuel was there. A couple other Phillies legends. Tom McCarthy was there. And the mayor. And John Middleton. And he said, Philadelphia will be the place to be in 2026, and the Phillies are thrilled to join MLB in hosting the Midsummer Classic. Baseball fans will have the opportunity to take part in the activities and events that make All-Star Week a special experience. In addition, the 250th birthday celebration of our great nation will give fans and visitors to our city an opportunity to see Philadelphia in a unique light. We have no doubt that they will create wonderful memories. And while we're at it, Dave Dombrowski is about to make a trade that's going to transform this team into a World Series champion. Now, I
like that last part.
I added that last part. He actually did not say that. But that was John Middleton.
I buried the lead on this. I ran to Charlie Manuel last night.
You did?
Yes.
Where?
Palladium.
He was at the Palladium?
He was at the Palladium.
Did you say, hey, Chuck?
No. Yeah, I think
you didn't?
I think he was with one of the fantastic auction people, like the winners. So he had a nice table with all of them. So yeah, I was not interrupting that.
So it was a little bar room situation with Charlie Manuel.
Yeah. I turned around. I was like, oh my gosh.
Chuck.
That's Charlie Manuel.
It's my man.
Yeah.
Chuck.
It's hitting season. That's really what I wanted to say. Happy hitting season and walk out.
I love Chuck.
How could you not?
Yeah, he was the best. All right, let's get back to the phones. We've got, let's see. Will in Brookhaven is back with us. Will, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Will?
Yeah, after I heard y'all talking about the story about Embiid, and I just thought about when Maxey challenged him.
Mm-hmm.
When he, called him out.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe. I mean, because I believed in him, and it's like, okay, when Brett Brown and Elton Brand, I guess they coddled both him and Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Just let them get away with a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just like, I mean, I sat through the process, man, and I'm just disappointed at this point. Like, I'm just praying for this guy to get healthy this season so we can just trade him and Paul George. So
yeah, what are the likelihood that they're going to be healthy?
I
think those days are. I think the days are over. He can't possibly be healthy anymore. The older you get, and the more there's uncertainty in your situation, you can't even get back on the basketball floor now. How long has it been since that surgery that he had? He had another cleanup surgery.
Months.
Cleanup surgery. We don't even know what they did.
I don't know, man. I just want him to be healthy enough for us to trade him.
I hear you, but it's unlikely that anybody could trade for that salary.
I know.
So this is what they are, man.
And I got to blame Daryl Morey for giving him that contract.
You got to blame Daryl Morey for a lot of stuff. His idea on how to build a team with three older stars doesn't work. All right, man. Thanks, Will, for checking in. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. It's the Mike Missanelli Show, and we're on WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. All right, let's talk a little baseball. The Phillies are back at it tonight against the Angels. They're a monster favorite because the Angels haven't even introduced the starting pitcher yet. We'll get the lineups when we get them. We don't know if Mike Trout will be playing tonight or not, but the Angels are kind of a decent team, 47-49, and the Brandon Marsh goes against his alt squad tonight. How about that?
Wow, big revenge game.
It is a big revenge game for Brandon Marsh. But this week we had Jason Stark on, and he had a lot of interesting things to say. And the one thing that was interesting to me, well, two things actually. One is that people around the league are still in fear of the Phillies because of their starting pitching, but also Dave Dombrowski's mentality into the deadline. Let's hear Jason talk about Dave Dombrowski. That would be Stark 6 to start the 1 o'clock hour.
You know, I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. You know, what he'd like to do in the perfect world may not happen in the real world. It's a very weird market still. But he said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder. And, again, this is ideally, keep both of them beyond this year.
Okay. I like that mindset. Now, again, whether it's going to happen is another matter. So let's move on to Jason's Stark 7. The perfect Dombrowski trade would be?
I think the perfect Dave Dombrowski trade is Byron Buxton and Johan Duran from the Twins, and then he'd have both of them for 3 pennant races. Now, look, I bet the Twins trade neither of them. You know, I was told that if they sell, it would just be, the word was strategic selling, and that probably means no selling. But just say for that package, would you give up Aiden Miller and Mick Abel and Eduardo Tait, the catcher who's in the Futures game, and somebody like an Arun Escobar, who's got a lot of buzz going in Clearwater, maybe more? I could honestly see Dave doing that.
Well, I would do that in a second. I mean, come on, you're talking about a hitter and a back-end right-handed power pitcher. So the prospects that he, like Aiden Miller, okay, would be the primo prospect. I wouldn't worry about giving up Abel or Arun Escobar or Tait. At that point, you can always try to restock your farm system if you give up those type of guys. But you're getting guys under control who would help you now and for the next couple of years. So to me, that's a no-brainer, right? If you have to ride with this team the way the Phillies are right now. You also have to re-sign Schwarber, and you have to re-sign JT Realmuto, which means you're going to come back with the same cast for the next several years. So you might as well enhance the cast. You can't start over.
Well, yeah, I'm sick and tired of the rentals. I'm done really dealing with the rentals here, especially reliever-wise. Like, you went into last offseason, and we saw how that went. Steves and Hoffman both were free agents, and you come back with Romano. Like, is it sustainable to every year be addressing this bullpen at the deadline?
No, it's not. But sometimes you can only do a rental. So if a rental that's going to help you for the rest of this year, because you got to think about this year. This is the year you're thinking about. If it's a rental, I got to bite the bullet, and maybe I can re-sign him at the end of the year. It wouldn't stop me from doing a deal.
It wouldn't stop me, but I'm really sick and tired of doing the rentals. Like,
I hear you.
If we're talking about Duran and you're going to have him for how many years at this point, like, yeah, I'm way more interested in that than I am in a rental. Like, I'm way more interested in the Class A than a rental. It's more expensive for you, and that'll be something you have to deal with. But these rentals, and this is, I think, a philosophy problem that they've had in addressing their bullpen, where they, over the offseason, are like, yeah, we'll try and uncover something that everyone else doesn't want to pay for. Like, Romano, we're going to give him 8.5. It'll be less than what Hoffman and Estevez signed for long term. So we're going to save money. We don't have to give the years to a reliever because relievers from year to year can have varying degrees of success. And we'll just address the bullpen when we need to at the deadline. Mm-hmm. Like, that to me is not a philosophy that they should be abiding by. Like, this past offseason, what did Devin Williams go for? Like, I feel like those types of moves that, like, off-season wise, addressing your bullpen, that's where I would have wanted to see them do it. Now that we're here at this point, I want to see them get themselves a bullpen arm that's not just in this bullpen this year, that's in this bullpen for another year at least. It's idealist, obviously. That's what I think a lot of us do when you talk about these deals. But I think it's an idealist approach for me because I'm really sick of all right, they're going to get this guy, they're going to give a prospect, and we're going to wait until November to see if this guy's really going to be back here.
I hear you. I got it. It's a very uncomfortable situation. But the Phillies put themselves in an uncomfortable position. Let's go back to the phones with Jim in Center City. Jim, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Jim?
Michael, good afternoon. Good
How are
to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
I'm good. A couple quick notes. So, at the Coldplay concert, the guy's got his HR director and his assistant HR director. They're in the cover-up. So when Chris Martin calls out the guy, the one HR director's laughing. The other girl heads for the exit, and he ducks.
Yeah, she ducked. She went down. She went down low. That one. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, HR people, do the right thing. Don't have affairs with people in the office.
That's going to have some. They're going to have some turnover in that company.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
A quick note on the Phillies, since you guys were just hitting on that. Buxton has a no trade with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Unless you extend him, you're not getting that as part of the
You're
trade.
probably not.
That's sort of the in the sky kind of guy.
Yes.
I think the A's are the team that you could possibly get package that these will really like. You might have to sweeten it with Suarez to where the A's could sign Suarez as part of that package with an Abel and then probably Aiden Miller. I mean, that's the kind of package you would need to give the A's, because in 2 years when they open in Vegas, they're going to want to have some talent there.
Yeah, well, hang on one second. Let me stop. Let me stop you. I think your idea is good, but it practically does not work. The A's are not going to pay Ranger Suarez in another contract, so why would they add him? That would not be a guy that you could trade to the A's for Mason.
They're going to be looking for a frontline guy. They're going to be looking for Mick Abel and somebody who is your front line. You're going to give him Sanchez?
No, we're talking about the A's ability to pay. Scott Boras is Suarez's agent. They're not going to give him $25+ million a year in Oakland or Sacramento or Las Vegas, wherever the frick they are.
Right. Well,
yeah.
Right. In 2 years, though, that concept changes because they're in Vegas. So maybe they're looking for something more substantial than the A's would traditionally look for. Is my point, right?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think the A's right now would get prospects. I don't think they, yeah.
All right. And last pivot, just so on your last hour talking on the process, intellectually, what Sam Hinkie did was correct. He analyzed the situation. He saw how do I get assets to where I can build a championship team? Mm-hmm. Well, I tank for a few years. Those they create draft picks. The draft picks I pick, we create a young core, and away we go.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that intellectual construct, the way it worked out, didn't work out, right? The draft picks did not become the core.
Obviously it didn't work out.
The process was a failure, even though intellectually
but it's not,
it was correct.
I get it, but you're mixing it here. So it was either a good thing to do, which you said yes, but now it's a failure because it didn't work out. Well, you can always do that. You can always evaluate something after the fact. At the time, you have to make the decision. This is our mindset. Is it a good strategy? You said it was a good strategy. It turned out to be a failure. Okay, there's no revelation in that. It didn't work out, but the methodology of what you were trying to do was pure. So, it's easy to say it's a failure now. 610-632-0975. I always thought Mike Trout was a man of the people. But on the other side, Mike Trout, Eagle fan, small town, Millville, New Jersey guy, we're going to talk about the golf course project that he's involved in, where nobody's going to be allowed to play it unless you're a zillionaire. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this. I tuned in on this morning, 7:30. You get golf. Nice when it's in UK or Ireland.
Beautiful.
Anyway, here are the leaders. Right now, the leader is Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Wow.
The lad from England, -5 through 12. Oh, excuse me, he's -9. He's 5 under for the day. Second, a tie, Brian Harmon of the U.S. and Lee of China, -8. Scotty Scheffler, -7, knocking on the door. Hogard at -5. Tyrrell Hatton, -5. Robert McIntyre, -5. Harris English at -5. Who of note is also in the running? Rory, -3. Ray, you feeling that?
Let's go. Pick it up, Rory. Come on.
J.J. Spawn hanging in there, -2. With Shane Lowry, -2.
There we go. There's my guy.
Justin Rose, -2. John Rahm, -1. Ricky Fowler is at -1. Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson, even. Let's go to the big scores here. Who's really messing up? I think, oh, man.
No notables?
Wait, there is. Well, Colin Morikawa is 6 over.
What?
Yes. Thigala is 7 over. What happened to Mr. Muscles? Where is he?
Is he not playing?
No, he was 7 over yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Muscles, I can't find him on the board.
DeChambeau just pick up his gloves and go home?
Did he? He might have. Did he withdraw?
He is.
Where is he? Bryson DeChambeau, I don't see him.
He is 6 under today.
He is. Oh, he made a rally. He made a rally. 6 under. That means okay, there he is. He's +1.
Wow.
So, yeah, he was 7 over yesterday.
I'm not going home yet.
All right, there you go.
Maybe. I don't know. Where's the cut line going to be?
Fun to watch that course, those kind of courses.
Yeah, we got to check in on our guy Steele over there, who called yesterday.
Steele needs to give us the update on what's going on.
Had the entire keg.
In that course. All right, so speaking of golf, Mike Trout, as we know, is building this colossal golf course in Millville. It is so inherently private. It's going to be one of the world's most exclusive golf clubs, and I am told that the fee is $500,000 to be a member.
Are you serious?
Yes. So it's only for the rich and famous.
500
from
$1,000?
From $300,000 to $500,000 is the fee to be a member. Now, yes, it'll have only 227 members because his number's 27. It'll have 27 trees on the main drive into the golf course because that's his number. And 75% of the club members will not be local to South Jersey. We're getting people from, Hong Kong, England, Scotland, Australia, Canada, and Dubai. So this is going to be one of the world's most exclusive golf courses. Now, let me ask you, is that a violation?
You're asking the non-golf guy here.
I'm asking you if it's a violation that a hometown guy from Littletown, Millville, who scrapped his way up and now builds an exclusive golf course with Tiger Woods where people in Millville can't even play it.
I mean, I don't love it.
Some of the amenities on site include a fitness center, spa, barbershop, game vault, and bowling alley. Trout National will feature several forms of accommodations, including 6 4-bedroom cottages on the club's fully lit short course. There's a nighttime course there, a par 3 nighttime course.
Just in case the flight from all the way around the world gets in late.
Yeah, then you can go and hit the short game course.
Yeah.
10 clubhouse suites and 2 12-bedroom lodges. So I'm curious to know why he would do something like that. Like, even if there was a provision, like if you are a Millville resident, you can play the course. But he doesn't want the schlubs on the course. It's kind of pompous, isn't it?
I'm still wrapping my head around the fees.
Oh, yeah. It's going to cost you about $500,000 to be a member.
Yeah, I guess I just don't love sport that way to spend $500,000 to be a member of some place to play it. Or 500,000. Excuse me. I don't know.
Mike and Tiger have formed this bond now. Mike and Tiger
Well, that's good.
had never met anyone prior to their work here. It's actually funny. The first time they ever FaceTimed, Tiger was on the range at Medalist, and Mike was in the locker room at Angel Stadium. Even for somebody like Mike, there's a little bit of nerves meeting Tiger for the first time. Tiger said, "We're going to make this exclusive, little man." We don't want any normal people at this golf course. You got to be a bazillionaire to play Trout National, baby.
500,000.
Uh-huh. About that.
I hope I get, yeah.
Right, one day.
No.
One day when you're a mega millionaire.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if I had the money to do this, maybe this is, again, me being idealist here. I don't know if I'm spending $500K to join a golf club.
It's just the prestige of it. You'll never play enough to justify the fee, but you'll fly in. Say you have to, a meeting in Philly. You fly in, you get the guy you play Trout National, and then it's the experience of playing the course.
Yeah, it's a world I guess I can't comprehend.
This course better, like after every when you hole out, you should have your ball automatically washed. You get your balls washed and and your shoes shined after every hole. Oh my God. I bet you that golf course makes your putter stand. All right. I've had enough. Ray loves those sophomoric jokes. 610-632. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The All-Star break has finally come to a close, so the Phillies return to action tonight as they open up a 3-game set against the Angels. Jesus Luzardo will start for the Phillies as the second half opens up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. We're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. Jason Stark joined us yesterday here on the Mike Missanelli Show and talked about the impression he got on Dave Dombrowski's deadline plans.
I ran into a guy in Atlanta who had talked to Dave Dombrowski. He told me his clear impression is that Dave is gearing up to do something big. He said Dave would give up a lot of chips if he could get that big back-end bullpen arm and a legit everyday outfielder.
You can listen to the full conversation with Jason Stark on our website, 975thefanatic.com. The Summer Sixers hit the floor tonight against the Nets at 6 o'clock to wrap up their slate out there in Vegas. In Houston this week, and the Union face the Houston Dynamo Saturday at 8:30. You can hear the live call of the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And training camp gets going next week for the Birds. They show up on Tuesday and hit the practice field for the first time on Wednesday. This update is brought to you by the local Ream Pro partners at thereamteam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Ream. Stay cool with the high-efficiency AC system from Ream, RHEEM. Find your Ream Pro partner at thereamteam.com. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
developments. One being the Eagles starting training camp coming up, and also the Phillies trade deadline. So as the days go on, we'll be digging more into that. We got into the little Eagles talk today about the Birds' biggest questions. And one of the biggest questions we tried to address, who are the Eagles' biggest threats in the NFC? And then we got a list of a lot of teams here. And I'm not so sure that they are the biggest threats, but let's just go through it. And Ray, I know you had some opinions on this here. So let me start with the big bad Detroit Lions, who they lost some players on defense. They have some attrition, but they do get back that crazy rushing defensive end. They'll be back this year after an injury. So are the Detroit Lions the viable biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC?
I don't think they're the biggest threat to this team in the NFC. I think a year ago, the fact that we didn't get treated to that back and forth, that potential game between the two of them, I know for us, it felt like our entire show was building to the NFC Championship game, Eagles-Lions, and the Lions just absolutely blew it. And part of that is just how aggressive they were. Part of that's Jared Goff. I think for that reason, the fact they're not going to have Ben Johnson back, the fact that Goff, to me, excelled a year ago for sure, but I don't necessarily believe in him as the guy that takes you to the top. He's never
disrespect for Jared Goff.
He's just never been that guy for me. I think teams have figured out how to accentuate his abilities.
A lot of pundits have him ranked ahead of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and that's nice.
Quarterback rankings.
If you care about the 17 games of the regular season and putting up 4,000 passing yards, maybe you do. Just to that point, Goff and that team feel like a candidate for a step back just because the attrition of the coaching staff. You mentioned losing some of the defensive guys. And also they lose Ragnow right at the beginning of OTAs. It just feels like they could take a step back in a division where other teams are expected to take a step forward.
All right, who would you name as the Eagles' biggest threat in the NFC?
I still think it's the Rams. I think it's the Rams that are closest to knocking them off a season ago.
Okay. Who would be number 2 on your list? Now, there's the Commanders, there's the Lions, there's the Cowboys, there's the Packers, there's the 49ers, there's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who's number 2?
I'll give the Lions 2 on that one.
Lions.
Just out of respect for what they did last year.
Out of respect for their head coach, Dan Campbell.
Of course.
Who
yes.
we love.
Yes, adore.
Dearly. And we love him.
Yeah.
The guy next doesn't.
Bite kneecaps all you want, man.
Yeah. Number 3. Commanders, Cowboys, Packers, Vikings.
Commanders.
You're going to go with the Commanders, number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with, I don't know about the Rams yet. I have to, this is just your list. I have to think about it a little more. All right. So after the Commanders, who do you have?
Go Bucks.
You're going with Todd Bowles out of Temple University.
That's right.
The Tampa Bay Bucks. I wrote Todd Bowles down instead of Tampa Bay.
Hey, man, TB.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles.
There you go. Number 5 threat to the Eagles in the NFC.
Number 5.
49ers, Cowboys, Vikings, Packers.
Oh, go Pack, go.
Packers, 5.
Hey, man.
No respect for the Vikings whatsoever.
No.
All right, so 6. 49ers, Vikings.
I guess I'll give Vikings more respect than I give the 49ers.
Vikings 6th, 49ers 7th.
Yeah.
Is there any team that's going to sneak in there? The Bears?
I mean, the Cowboys, to me, again, are a team I think will make the postseason. So I guess
you got them 8th.
They have to be. If we're talking about threats to win the NFC, I don't have them as a threat to win the NFC because I don't think they will. I don't think Dak Prescott's winning the NFC, but I think they can win double-digit games getting to the postseason.
Summarize, you have the following threats in order to the Eagles: Rams, Lions, Commanders, Tampa Bay, Packers, Vikings, 49ers, Cowboys.
I mean, I could slide the Cowboys ahead of those last 2 teams.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If the Rams are as good as you say, suppose the Rams get home field advantage and the Eagles have to win by going to L.A. Who you got?
I don't think it matters too much when it comes to L.A. That stadium to me is not a home field advantage type place.
Okay.
I don't think it's somewhere where you have to change the way you play offense. If anything, we saw just what Barkley could do in that beautiful setup of L.A. a year ago. I don't think that would bother me. that specific team getting home field advantage would bother me going out to LA.
Okay.
Time difference wise or anything like that.
All right. A couple of other questions that we asked about the defense yesterday. I want to zero you in because I get the impression, Ray, that you're feeling it's going to be a little bit more of a down year for Zach Bond, a little regression from the career year that he had from the All-Pro level.
Well, it's hard to say regression for me because I do think it was amazing to watch him take a new position and do that well at it in year one. I think there's a question of can you repeat that level? Like, and is this just who he is now for good? Like, are we just going to expect that he's going to make 150 tackles, that he's going to make a ton of game-changing plays in the middle of the field when we didn't know that before? I think it's hard for me to say that he's going to regress, but it's also, like, I don't think does it get better than last year? Like, is there another level to the way you can play? I heard DeCecco on some point this week talking about, well, he just learned the position. That was the baseline of him learning the position. And it's true, it was the baseline of him learning the position, but it was also the baseline of the NFL seeing him out there on tape as a linebacker in the middle of the field. So am I to expect more from him? Am I to expect less?
I think we get into a situation where when guys have all-world years, that we have to naturally think that they can't replicate it to that extent.
Right.
And there are two guys on the Eagles. One's Bond, and the other's Saquon.
Yeah. And Saquon, like, again, regression for him, if he goes from 2,000 to 1,400, are you mad at 1,400?
No, but I think it's going to be less than that, actually.
How much less?
1,200.
1,200. And he plays all 17?
That's where I think he's going to land. No, I think he's going to miss some games. And that's one of the reasons. I think he's going to be banged up in a couple games. I hate to feel this way, but
it's hard not to.
When I see things are too good to be true, I go, they usually aren't good. Too good to be true. They are too good to be true. Sorry. They are too good to be true. So I don't think he's going to replicate last year.
No.
Which means everything comes down to their passing game.
If he runs for 1,700 yards, like 1,600 yards, I would be shocked. And it's nothing against the talent that he is, and nothing against what they have in front of him, and nothing against the way he takes care of his body. It's just history in the NFL would tell you 400-plus carries like that, 400-plus touches like that, you're going to see some regression.
But my God, am I looking forward to the start of Eagles training camp and the rest of this Philadelphia Phillies season. Save us, Lord. This has been a dreadfully dry week in sports, man.
Feeling it Friday at 1:30?
I can't, like, once you get used to the Phillies playing every night, it's really hard to be without them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they don't play tonight either. What do I do? What do I watch on TV?
What'd you get into last night?
I watch Law & Order all the time, man.
Nice.
I've seen them a million times, too. I'm wildly entertained by backdrop TV, where I don't have to think much about it.
A friend of mine's a big SVU.
I never was the SVU guy.
It's too
I was the
dark
original. I'm the original Law and Order guy.
I can't get too deep into the darkness of the SVU. It's like
it is very dark.
I get too empathetic. I get too sympathetic.
The other crimes on Law and Order, the original, are a little more innovative.
Yeah. Well, I'll add to the list. I got time.
That's my go-to. I swear to God. Every day I scroll. And I go, there's nothing on. Well, here comes Pop Network. Boom. The Pop Network has Law and Order on. Boom. I go right to it.
I wonder what most people's go-to this week was. Like,
I don't know.
For those of us that are tuned in at 6:45 almost every night, like, how did you fill that void?
Well, the HBO was smart. They put The Wire on this week.
And got a chance to binge that and look through that?
Yeah, no, I didn't binge it. I've seen The Wire so many times that I didn't binge it this time. I did when they played The Sopranos most recently. I did binge watch The Sopranos again, but The Wire I just didn't go back to because I've done it so many times that I just
YouTube chat letting us know Seinfeld was a big one this week for JM Law and Order.
Yeah, Seinfeld is only on in the afternoon though. Like, where do you find it? It's not on at night anywhere.
Is it Netflix?
Oh, you can get it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I get it when they just run it on natural TV. Like, from now, like 2 o'clock. Sometimes they fool you. Sometimes they go South Park. Like normally it's every day it's Seinfeld from 2 to 5. And sometimes I'll get there and South Park will be on. And that's a violation. I never know when they're going to do it either. Comedy Central Network.
Yeah, South Park doesn't strike me as something you're sitting
No,
down.
I'm not a South Parkman.
Yeah, that does.
All right, we're coming down the home stretch. If you want to climb in on this Friday to end the week with anything we've talked about, anything that's on your mind, including you want to rip me for my stand on Joel Embiid, that's fine and dandy. 610-632-0975, either by phone or by text. We're back after this.
The summer.
Mike Missanelli show, the Open's still going on, as we know. And there was a story that came out viral yesterday, Ray. I don't know if you heard this. You probably did. It's right up your alley. After Scotty Scheffler hit his shot, somebody had passed gas.
I did.
Did you see that?
I did.
Do we have that by
I
any
do
chance?
not. No. I was debating on whether or not that was going to be noon-worthy.
Well, apparently, people thought at first it was Scotty Scheffler. And I don't know, sometimes that happens, you know, and then to follow through your swing.
Yeah, exerting a lot of force.
Yeah, you're putting a little torque, get the lower half going. But apparently it was a fan. It was an Irish fan.
So they say.
So they say.
Yeah.
Why are you not? You're not buying it?
Well, you know, are you going to protect Scheffler or the fan?
You think it was Scheffler?
Who's to say it wasn't?
Well, they quickly said it wasn't. I don't know. They quickly said it was a fan.
All right. Well, fans sitting right next to the crowd, Mike. What we got here?
It didn't how the Scotty Scheffler went. Oh, afterwards.
Just say it. You know, who does golf have to protect more, the fan or Scotty Scheffler? It's been a week for Scotty.
All right. Anyway, Phil's back at it tonight against the Angels. Still, Luzardo versus undecided for the Angels. We don't know if Mike Trout's playing. I have no idea what the. You know, it's funny. We lose such track of Mike Trout. Are people still interested in acquiring him?
Monday at 11 o'clock on Let's Fake It.
Really? What does he make now? He makes like $40 million.
He's a rich man.
Yeah, he makes $40 million. And he's charging $500,000 to be a member of his club. I guess he can shed those Millville roots real quick.
$426.5 million over 12 years. So
He's made $426 million.
That's the worth of this entire contract that he currently
Well, he can't even be a member of his own club then. He didn't make $500,000.
So he makes $35.5 per year.
35 and a half. I guess he can.
Yeah, I think he might be able to.
He can afford his own club.
That's like.
He probably plays free though, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
If it's Trout National.
I would think that you get a free round for that.
Do we have any good texts here as we come down the home stretch of
We
this
had
program?
a lot of good texts with the nasty jerseys that people
nasty
love.
jerseys. And this is, again, define what nasty jersey is, right?
It's the jersey of a guy who was legendary with one team playing for another team, mostly at the end of the career.
Okay.
So jerseys that just you don't remember, don't make sense, that you hate that you had to see. We got Emmitt Smith in a Cardinals jersey. Jerry Rice in the Seahawks jersey. Wayne Gretzky in a Blues jersey. Penny Hardaway in a Miami Heat jersey. Reggie White with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Love this one. Ricky Bowe in a Mets jersey.
I don't even remember that.
Ricky being a Met?
Ricky being a Met.
That he was.
Wait, did he play? Is that the only two teams he played for? Oh, he played.
No,
he played in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he was a Brewer.
He was a Brewer.
I think that was the
First
end
team.
for him.
Brewers the end.
I think the Brewers.
He went from the Phillies to the Mets. Who was Ricky traded for?
Ricky went Phillies, Cardinals, Royals, back to the Phillies, to the Cardinals, Mets, and then the Brewers.
Wow, he was well traveled by the end.
Yes, he had taken a couple of stops there. Let's see. In terms of everything was free agency, the one trade he was a part of was an off-season deal. The Phillies sent him to St. Louis with Garrett Stevenson for Jeff Brantley, Ron Gant, and
Ron Gant,
Cliff Polite.
They got Ron Gant for Ricky.
That's what it says. That's what the old baseball reference tells me.
And Jeff Brantley was a relief pitcher. So they traded Ricky, got a relief pitcher back, and they got Ron Gant.
Yeah,
Ricky must have been worth something back then.
I mean, he was just a year or two removed from being an all-star. He had some success.
What was Ricky's total worth? Oh yeah, he got mostly free agent. He signed a free agent with the Mets, free agent with the Brewers, free agent with the Red Sox, free agent with the Orioles. He got released with the Red Sox and the Orioles.
Did he make it out of?
Oh, Ricky made.
Yeah, he didn't make it out.
Well, Ricky. It says Ricky's earnings were $10 million. That's not bad cheese.
No, it's not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Probably making that right now for Unfiltered, isn't he? You think Unfiltered's paying him like that kind of coin?
Well,
what's
once
the
you
most
have to,
he ever made?
Once
in
you
the
have
big
Bill's
leagues?
max slot, you have to have another max player alongside him.
He made $2.2 million with the Phils, and we got the Cardinals $2.3 million. Look at that, cashing a big check.
How about that for Ricky Bowe? Yeah, and that Red Sox time, I guess, was all minor league.
His first contract with the Phillies, $109,000.
That's what he makes for one post game now, right?
That's for right now. I mean, he makes clearly more. Let's see, 109, 185, and then 425. which he's probably making here.
Which, I mean, he had the 3-year stretch there from 95 to 97 where he's got a 3 ERA.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me dig into the archives. I think I got everybody's salaries here. All right, Ricky is making $425. Colarulo's making $35.
Him and Trout making the same amount.
They call it a $500,000 show, and that's the way it breaks out.
Did you reach in your pocket and pull out a dime? Am I getting that?
In any event, Bill is just on the way up. He'll take less money as long as he's growing.
I haven't seen Bill today. Is he here?
Yeah, I saw Bill.
He usually pops his head in.
I saw Bill in the restroom.
Oh.
Yep.
Take the stall next to you?
No, he actually went into the other. He sensed that someone was at the urinal, and he went into the stall, which was nice.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
He's learned a little bit of decorum in his time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Ray, what's your plans this weekend? What are you doing?
I'm off to Atlantic City tomorrow.
You're off to Atlantic City.
Big
That's right.
show.
You got the big Phillies show. Talk about what we're doing there in AC.
Yeah, we got 3 hours tomorrow down at Tropicana. It's going to be Connor Thomas, myself, and Tommy Green talking Phillies baseball.
That'll be a fantastic show. But while you're there, you're going to imbibe in a few table games, aren't you?
I would think so. I would think the blackjack table is going to be too alluring.
Let me ask you, what minimum do you play?
And I
where do you go? What table? Because I got to be news for you. During the weekends, there aren't many minimum tables that are lesser than $25.
And that might keep me off the table. I'll be honest.
Well, are you looking for a $10 piece?
$10 would be nice.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to the 15 because the casino closest to me is now lifted that up to a 15 when I'm there. I don't gamble a ton when it comes to going to a casino just because I know the odds are stacked against me and the money I have is also kind of stacked against me. So I don't gamble a ton. I do kind of feel like if I'm going to be an AC, though,
you have to gamble?
I'd like to sit down at a table, at least test my luck.
Now, let me ask you, when you sit down at the table, do you are you a decorum man? Do you are you quiet and focused? And are you like scratching the table for a hit? You scratch the table? Do a little scratch?
I usually do.
You get one of these?
Really? Yeah, I'll take them.
You don't scratch?
No, not a scratcher.
I'm a scratcher.
You're a scratcher?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of blackjack.
Really?
Yeah. And I got sick of it. I just get sick of losing because it's just a drain. You know, you can get on a roll and then it just drains you. So I play pie gal poker most of the time when I'm down there because I can play for forever pie gal poker. And you're not going to lose your shirt. You're going to win a couple dollars.
All right.
But it's fun. You ever play pie gal poker?
No.
Yeah, pie gal poker's fun.
All right. I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah, you got to learn how to play it, though. It takes a while to learn.
Yeah, so probably not this weekend. Probably going to be a studying session for me on that before I just jump into a table because I will lose my shirt that way.
I hear you.
Problem is, I got a buddy of mine, a college roommate that's got a place at Sea Isle coming up to see me, and he is more of the casino type.
Oh, he is.
So
he spreads it around.
I'm a little concerned. Every once in a while when we go, it's like he's gonna play at the table. He wants to play at the table, and I'm like, all right, I can't keep up here. You know, you can keep going, but I'm not going. And then it makes a weird dynamic because I don't want to stand over the table that he's at. Because I feel weird about standing over the table. I don't like being the guy behind the table.
I got you. Did they set you up with a room down there, or you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, you got
down there tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
you got a nice little room down there.
Oh yeah, no, they're taking care of us. Shout out to all the good people doing.
Look at you.
I know. I'm excited.
You taking a lady?
No.
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 Hotel sex? All right.
Not planning on it, Mike.
let me just get back to this Embiid article before we close that. We'll close it out, and that's the last thing I'll say about it. This guy who is his confidant, Martin, it almost seems like he takes a few shots at him. And I don't know if he means to, but his quotes seem to be negative towards Joel. He says, Joel is really unique. When you sit with him for a bit, it feels like you don't need to play by all the rules. Now, what in the hell does that mean? What does that mean? It means that Joel does what Joel wants to do. Don't you find that quote weird?
Read it to me one more time.
Joel is really unique. When you sit with him for a bit, it feels like you don't need to play by all the rules. There are a lot of weird rules in the NBA, and there's a lot of things that are culturally expected in the NBA, and they're really designed to make owners feel comfortable, general managers feel powerful, and coaches feel intelligent, and support staff feel really respected. I don't know if I'm being perceptive or if I'm creating an elaborate justification for him. Like, what is he saying there with that quote?
That Embiid exists around the rules?
That he doesn't have to play by the rules, that he makes up his own rules. If somebody wants him to work out on a certain schedule, he's not going to work out at a certain schedule because it's Joel Embiid, and he's obstinate that way.
Yeah, and again, I go back to, I don't know how many other teams, how many other superstars he's come across. I don't know necessarily how unique this is to the Sixers situation. I think they've enabled a ton of it, and I don't think that it's necessarily great for Embiid, and I think that we've gone over the structure that we wish was there. But I don't know how unique it is to the Sixers situation. Like, how many superstars do you think abide by the rules that were in place for the NBA for the longest time?
I think superstars abide by this rule. Get in the best shape possible to be the best player you can be to make the most money you can. Be great. If you're great, you're going to make the max contract. Now, Joel got the max contract at the end when he wasn't being great. So it's like, okay, well, what do I need to be? Why would I need to do this if I'm going to get paid like this anyway?
So he gets the contract following last season. The last season, 23-24, they have obviously the blow up. They go out against Boston. He comes back, and he was better than he was as the MVP. Someone fell on his knee. Like that to me isn't an indication of where he was in shape. That's an indication of someone falling on his knee, and that being an unfortunate happening.
Bell's palsy, the stray elbow, the falling on the knee. I get all that. But the bottom line is there's a knee situation. Whether somebody fell on it or not, there was still a knee situation. And a knee situation needed to be rehabbed properly, and your weight needed to be controlled properly. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but I'm going to, like, where this injury occurred. Like, where this injury occurred, to me, like, I understand problems that people have with Embiid for so much of his career.
Mm-hmm.
But where this injury happens that's led us to where we are right now and leads us to all the, like, where is he at mentally, all this comes back to someone falling on his knee.
I got it.
And that to me was a little bit, like, I think this story is probably begun to be chased because they were trying to understand where he was at following the ramp up to the season that he never started. And, like, so I do fall a little bit more empathetic with it because I see, I think there was change happening that never got to happen.
The question is, where is he now and where are the Sixers? Where are the Sixers now? And that's something that we'll be discussing almost every day for a really long period of time this season. Bill Colarulo and Ricky Battalica, Unfiltered, is coming up next. Thanks, everybody, for listening all week. We wish you have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Take care, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.